Hello everyone, welcome back, and would you look at that? It's always mildly annoying when there's an audio problem, because it looks like... There we go, we fixed the background music, we managed to do it, there it is. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Tomato Sauce stream. Today, we've got quite a lot to talk about. We have just a lot, really. We have leaks, which I wasn't expecting leaks. I guess it's around leak season, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting leaks. We've also got the GRF, which has just happened, so we're talking about the potential ban list we have for that. We have the OCG Rush ban list that we just had. We have a ton of speed leaks, not that many Rush leaks, which is a little bit sad. We also have some new Rush cards that have just been added to the game. Now, these were prior leaked, but they have now been added, which is interesting. It's definitely interesting. I did also want to take a look at the new OCG reveals, as we always do, as well as very briefly, probably right at the end, I want to talk a little bit about the Digimon news we got from Digimon Con, because if anyone doesn't know, I have recently gotten back into Digimon. I was big into Digimon in my youth, and then we had the new video game come out, and I had played the prior two video games, being Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. And so a new video game came out, I played that on stream, I really enjoyed it, and then the new anime came out around the same time. It really felt like they were doing for a big Digimon push, so we got into that. But, like I said, that will be coming at the end. But for now, let's see who we have in the chat. So we have Darth Victor with the first one, so long, so I'm currently eating, and then off to work, but it's always a pleasure, Victor. We have Neo X Noah, insane Rush Duel Links leaks, let's go. I mean... It's hard to get excited because we almost guarantee, right? Almost guarantee. We don't know, but we're going to infer. We're getting a deck build box next month. So, one, it's hard to get excited for a deck build, but we do have the May update after that. And the May update is always a banger. The last two May updates we have had have been really, really impactful. So, it's kind of something that's just keeping us somewhat satiated until we get to like the real meal, right? So I'm excited for it, but I mean, we'll cover it when we get to it, but it's hard to get super excited for it, let's just say. We have the Dr. Alex in the chat. Hello, Dr. Alex. Let's go Rush Bros. Hello, VN Penguin. Welcome. We have Gunkin, Suship, Shari, more pyro cards that can't work together. Yeah, I can only apologize so many times for introducing the world to Noodles in a semi-degenerate way, okay, that has caused all future Noodle cards and all future Pyro cards to very deliberately keep them as down as possible. I can only apologize so many times, guys. We have Corey in the chat. Hello, Corey. We have Hidden Bankai. Hello, guys. Welcome. Technically, it's probably just some fusions, but still super good. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the level 5 Ember. I think that would make sense, but again, we'll cover that when we get to it. We have Whistling Bird in the chat. Hello, Whistling Bird. Always a pleasure to see you, Whistling Bird. Where is the Dasher Mr. Tomato? He is here. He is right here. He's not going anywhere, baby. He's not fresh yet. I mean, ready. Maybe PNG Mato will show up since it's a special occasion. I mean, PNG Mato is only for when I'm feeling rather under the weather. That's the only time he ever comes out. Pyro stuff better than last time. Better than last time at least, lol. Give us the maximum. Who can't activate 2 of the 3 effects most of the time at the end of the skill, which limits us to the cards we don't have. The thing is, we've played with the maximum, right? We've seen the maximum used in tournaments. We've seen the maximum used on ladder. The maximum, I think a lot of people were doomsaying a little bit about it. Like, the maximum effects are live most of the time, right? If you get the maximum out, there is a good chance that all of the maximum's effects are live. I think people were doomsaying quite a lot about that. That being said, the rest of the package isn't there to support the maximum. That is the fundamental issue. Either you just don't get the maximum out, right? So you get the maximum out like turn 2, turn 3, and in Duel Links, that is far too late, right? You need to get that maximum out immediately. You need to have immediate impact on the board. If you don't, you're going to get blown to pieces by Red Eyes, you're going to get blown to pieces by Music Princess, Heroes, all these other decks that are just faster and will punish you if they get a turn where they're allowed to just pop off. So, like, I think that's fine, realistically. I don't think the maximum is, like, the strongest deck. I don't think the maximum is also, like, absolutely dog shit. It was just kind of a awkward rogue deck. But this skill now limits us to much in what we can play. I mean, again, I don't think it matters too much. If anything, I don't think the noodle restriction is the worst part of this new skill. I think it is the fact that we've already got the maximum, which takes us in the direction of having the Pyro plus Aqua plus Thunder deck. And it now restricts us to only Pyro. That, I think, is more restricting than not allowing us to use 0 defense monsters. But, yeah, that's just my opinion. How's everyone's favorite Tomato Man? I'm doing pretty good. We have United for Eternity in the chat. Hello, 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 Tomato and chat. Pyro Tier 1 Trust. I went to the future and saw Tomato winning Worlds with Pyros. Considering the only way to qualify for Worlds is to do well in an event that I literally cannot commit 3 days to, means I will literally never go to Worlds unless they have a massive reform, right? Unless that happens, I'm never going to Worlds, my friend. But United, I'd love to see you go to Worlds. I think that would be really good. I believe today was an app update, or what they call it. So usually it's a core update, but usually core updates are kind of in the middle of the month, not towards the end. So, but again, I talk about this like I know. I don't really know. I get secondhand information from people who do know what they're talking about, and then I just kind of regurgitate it. And then that's it. Usually, when we get leaks, it's around, like, I don't know, somewhere between, like, the 14th and, like, the 18th. But I don't know if that's, like, means all the time that has to be the case, or if it's just a couple of times it's happened, and now I have, like, a bias towards that, but... Noodle Fusion's gonna be executed. Digimon Bros. Yeah, Digimon Bros. What new Digimon news? So we got a Digimon Con, right? Digimon Con, which is, like, a big 2 to 3 hour stream where they just talked about all of the news. And there were very specifically 2 things they brought up about 2 of the mobile games. So that's the stuff I want to talk about because, again, I think most people here are mobile gamers, right? You guys play mobile games? I mean, Duel Links is a mobile game. It's also on PC. I primarily play it on PC. But I feel like it's more of a mobile audience than the PC audience, right? YTF is a deck based on mixing pyro monsters of different elements and chemicals, always limited by a skill. I mean, they do that deliberately, right? Because... the whole point is, they want to create, like, 6 different Pyro decks, right? And some decks will let you use absolutely everything. Some decks will be specific to Noodle. Some decks will be specific to something else. And that artificially creates diversity. The problem is, those decks never end up being good at the same time. So what we do instead is we get a new deck, and then we take it away. And then we replace it with a different deck that you have to include different cards in. So what would be nice would be if, like, you know, we had Noodles being meta at the same time as Pyro Fusion, at the same time as the Phoenix Maximum, right? But that doesn't really happen. Realistically, trying to combine all of those into one deck is really stupid anyway. That deck would be terrible. Like, maybe you could take 1 or 2 support cards from a different deck and kind of smash it into your current deck, but most of the time it's not going to work out very well. What other Digimon news? I mean, we'll get to it. Time Stranger expansion. We have Kim Friend in the chat. I'm coming to conquer all Kid Rush players. Oh, is that the case, Kim Friend? I don't think there are any actual children that watch the stream. I don't know, actually. I'm trying to think. I remember there was someone who used to watch the streams that used to watch with their child. So, like, you know, if they're watching with their child, there has to be a child watching, right? So, we have that, I guess. I almost forgot this. Oh, the Victor subscribed. We didn't get the subscribe thing up, but thank you, Victor. Thank you for the sub. I don't know why it didn't pop up. But thank you for the sub. I do appreciate that. Deck build bros are hard. It's Manabu fusions. They are hard. Also, how did the GRF end? What do you mean by that? Like, how did I finish in the GRF? Or what? Leak. We're going to get to the leaks, Kim Friend. And obviously, we're going to start with the speed stuff before we go into the rush stuff. So that'll be there for you. Man Rush gets cool stuff. Master Jewel gets Magnet Warriors. Magnet Warriors are cool. Don't diss Magnet Warriors. Magnet Warriors are awesome. I always have a soft spot for Magnet Warriors. Hello, Isla. Welcome. You got to get better at work, Tomato, for Worlds. I don't know what that means. How is everyone? So you can do it while grinding? No, I can't. You've seen how bad I play on stream. right? I make constant little mistakes on stream that I just don't make while off stream because I can lock in while off stream, right? What I'll do typically when I'm playing off stream is I will just have like no sound. I'll just be like focused and I'll be like my opponent, I'll feel a delay when my opponent has 2 sets. On their next turn, they'll activate like their face down spell card. And then I'll just have to, I'll repeatedly be like, that's the trap card, that's the trap card, that's the trap card, that's the trap card. Because my old ass brain can't retain information. I literally have the memory of a goldfish. So I need to like do this stupid shit just to actually play the game functionally. I would be awful in a high stakes situation, let's put it that way. Mini update happen. They do come with data mine sometimes. I mean, the new skill only allows fire pyro now. No aqua fire, no thunder fire. I mean, yeah, we've already said that. I don't know why you're reiterating that. All the recovery monsters aren't allowed again. Same with maximum skill, but even more restricted. But again, they've done that deliberately, right? So like, I don't know, getting up in arms about that just seems silly, to be honest. Gamma Goatmon is coming to Time Stranger. Screw the phone games. I think the phone games look cool. That's what I'm more interested personally. Time Stranger's kind of done, right? A little bit off topic here. We'll just quickly address this. Time Stranger was fine. Realistically, I think almost all of the side content in Time Stranger was kind of shit. I think you could have done the same thing, removed all the side content, and I think the game overall would have been better. That being said, if you are like a die-hard Digimon fan, right? And again, when I say side content, I'm not actually talking about the DLC. I'm talking about like the optional side content in the game. If you're like a super die-hard Digimon fan, I think that was just more stuff for you to do. And I think that's fine. I think that's cool. I think you should enjoy that. I think they should have spent a bit more time on it, made it a bit more interesting, given you a bit more to do, added some more like voice lines in some of the side content, added in a bit more narrative aspect to it. A lot of it just kind of felt like go somewhere, do a fight, or like walk around and click on things. And it was just like kind of a bit crap. I didn't really like the idea of any of the DLCs either. So when I hear like new Time Stranger content coming out, I'm like, I'm morbidly curious. And I hope it's a good content update. But what I really, really want is like another 10 hours of game with like another 50 to 100 new Digimon and actual like super cool, interesting content. But I don't know if we're gonna get that. And I haven't had anything telling me we're gonna get that based on anything I've been told. Outside of they have just told us, don't worry guys, it's gonna be a big DLC. And I'm just like, I can't take them at their word, right? So I have to wait until more information is given before I can get excited for that. That's how I look at it. Whereas the new phone games, I'm like, okay, I've got nothing to go by with these, so I'm just going to go into them with an open mind and hope that something's good there, right? Don't you guys have phones? Exactly. It wasn't just about I can't play Noodles, it's about we can't even play a normal Manabu deck. Yeah, but it's different, right? The strange thing is that this deck has come out before, or after, I should say, after Phoenix. That is the difference, right? If it came out before Phoenix came out, it wouldn't even be a question, right? Because this is just Manabu's deck during the Lug arc, where he just has a fusion deck before he has any of the Arc Wizard Thunders. The strange thing is that it's coming out in a post-Phoenix world, right? Lots of content on today's stream. Exactly. Hello, a human Portuguese dub fan. Welcome, welcome. That deck would be terrible. Looks at Draconic Contact. And the 2U Bell Pile decks that only works because of a skill. I don't understand what you're trying to say there, Neo, but I think if you're trying to get a gotcha, it's a really, really bad one. Yeah, I just realized that. The difference is one is an MC deck and one is a bum side character. But again, I think, so already we're getting into like some weird territory where now we're comparing speed decks to rush decks, which is already a weird comparison to make. Second off, like you can combine different decks, but you'll have very mixed success, which was the entire point overall. I think realistically, if you're trying to argue on the other side, you're just arguing in bad faith, which like why are we even bothering in the first place then? How did the GRF go meta-wise? Was there any fun shifts? Not really, if we're being completely honest. Again, I wasn't playing like at the top tables, right? I was playing against a lot of people in top 100, but I wasn't playing against like the top 50 all that much. So from that perspective, I would say I didn't notice anything. I think the weirdest, like, meta change, it's not even really a meta change, it's more of like a tech change, was some of the players near the top started playing Silent Doom in Red Eye's lists, which I thought was very interesting. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Meteor Dragon nails to OP. I mean, again, that was already in the meta beforehand, so that's not exactly a big shift, is it? I also like Magnet Warriors, but man, we don't even have Epsilon yet, or the best spell traps. I do hope they don't bring the new Bastion ones instead of those. Well, didn't we already know we're getting the new Bastion ones? Weren't they already revealed or leaked or something? Remove Aegiamon and the game is entirely perfect. That is what they're doing most likely. So again, I am excited. If I get my dream Time Stranger DLC, my dream Time Stranger DLC, I'm going to be really excited for it. I'm genuinely going to be really, really excited for it. I don't know I'm going to get that, right? So I'm a little bit wary about it. That's just my, like, I'm trying to be, like, cautiously optimistic, if that makes sense, right? Pile deck's pile deck. The deck is worsely built than the garbage new players make. Nice warehouse. What do you mean warehouse? What are we talking about here, Zaki boys? Hello, by the way. Welcome, welcome. WTF, open the leak. Alright, Kim friend. If you want to get timed out, you can get timed out. There you go. There you go. Oh, bless. Look at him. He's gone. Poor guy. The leaker said that some could be Master Duel links or something like that. Yes, there's a Master Duel update coming as well, which is... I'm not sure how they, like, the databases, like, intersect or whatever, so I don't know exactly how that works, but yeah, some of the cards apparently might be coming to Master Duel instead, so we will get to that when we get to it. Live execution. It's just one of those things where people come into the chat and then they start demanding stuff like, oh, why aren't you playing the game? Why aren't you doing this? And it's just like, just shut up. Like, we're all having a good time, we're having a chat, we're all just enjoying ourselves. And then, like, one stupid child has to come in and be like, why aren't you doing what I want? It's like, shut up. Stop acting like an actual spoilt brat. And let's just enjoy ourselves, okay? Alright. With that out the way. Ah! Well, that's awkward. Don't worry, we'll fix that. How are you not up already? Bam. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. There we go. Although, we shouldn't have that. Oh, I can see what's going on. Because this would be there. There we go. That's perfect. Excellente. Excellente. I just want RDA cards in Master Duel, man. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we'd really like to see in Master Duel, but I don't know. It's tricky. Because, again, I don't play Master Duel that much anymore. Like, I pretty much stopped playing Master Duel. So, for me, it's a little bit less exciting to get into, like, the Master Duel stuff, but, you know, it is what it is. But, first things first, I guess we'll take a look at our first bit of news, and that is we have had the card trader updated. So, Destiny Hero Disc Commander. This card, I don't know if anyone played when this card first came out in TCG. This card was actually a menace when it first came out, because this card did get an errata. I don't know when this card got errated, but this card did get an errata at some point that made it a lot weaker, I guess. Hello, Hit. Welcome, welcome. Hello, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good, Hit. How are you doing, my friend? We have OG-Sad, exactly. We'll get to OG-Sad. We're going to get there. Avarice Morai, it's all over. But yeah, Disc Commander's original effect was just, when it was special summoned from the graveyard, draw 2 cards. Like, that was it. That was the entire card effect. So now it is, cannot be special summoned from the graveyard the set to the graveyard. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can draw 2 cards. And you can only use the effect of it once per duel. So what you used to do is just get it in the graveyard and start, like, spam reviving it. Like, bring it back, put it back in the graveyard, bring it back, put it back in the graveyard, bring it back, and just draw a shit ton of cards. Which was kind of nutty. Well, as long as Duel Links don't get that cringe RDA and Super Heavy Samurai combo, that's the opponent skips their turn, IOTK. Yeah, the Super Heavy Samurai stuff is... It's so annoying, because I really like Super Heavy Samurai. But it became, like, just a degen combo, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Especially with their new Link monster and everything. I don't know, man. RDA and Super Heavy Samurai suck, though. But when you say that, do you mean, like, just in the meta in general? Because RDA was, for a bit, really good in TCG. And Super Heavy Samurai you could make the argument it wasn't the Super Heavy Samurai deck, it was a couple of the Super Heavy Samurai cards, were really, really good in TCG. So, like, Super Heavy Samurai is bad. But again, it wasn't bad when the new cards first came out. Like, everyone was playing the new Link monster that they got. Again, I'm saying new. This was like 2 years ago, right? Super Heavy Samurai is bad because it got hit. Well, that's the thing, right? It depends how it comes to the game. The thing is, because it's coming to Master Duel, you would expect it to be pre-hit, right? But we'll see. We'll see how things go. But going into the other cards, we have Anchor Moray. So if you have Umi or Big Umi face up on your field, you can add 1 level 3 or lower fish type normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. Now, let's be honest, guys. This isn't very good. If you can guarantee you're going to have Umi or Big Umi, this is like, what? At best, a Seahorse Carrier? Kinda mid, if we're being honest. I don't see this card seeing any play at all, but it's neat that it's here, I suppose. Then we have Heat Dartfish. I mean, it's a level 3 fish, so you could do some stuff with it. Specifically bring it back with Anchor Moray. Unfortunately, again, doesn't really mean anything. What I would like to say, what I would really like to do, is be like, we're getting fish cards in the card trader. That means in the next mini box we might get some more fish stuff. We're gonna get like was it Mugetsu, the fish guy, and we're gonna get his whole fish deck. That would be sick. But let's be honest, guys, we've had the dinosaurs in the card trader and the insects in the card trader for so long and nothing has come of it. So I don't think we're getting Sodo, which is a shame. It is a shame. What if I have bigger Umi? I mean, you can have bigger Umi if you want. That's fine as well. Don't we have all the Super Heavy Samurais in Master? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I couldn't tell you. Leviathan Dragon Daedalus when? I think because we got... What's his name? Euro? I think that's the wind guy. I think we are going to get Yujin, which means I think with Yujin, we'll probably get Daedalus. That's how I'm picturing it. And Kamura is crazy. Soon, lol, they'll probably do the other two brothers soon. Crazy when a good Rush rank 3 XEs come. Oh, it's gonna go so hard when we do get the Rush XEs, man. Mini box deck. Did I say mini box? Did I say mini box? I thought I just said box, but I don't know. But yeah, we're getting a deck build next. We almost guarantee. We've already said that at the start of the stream. But hello, Bismuth. Welcome, welcome. Eugene Gohart also uses fish, doesn't he? I don't think he does, actually. Let me have a look. I'm going to look up Eugene's deck real quick. Let's grab it up. We're gonna go in. We're going to do it live. Alright, he has a Sea Serpent deck based on Umi. Does he have any fish? I'm pretty sure all of these are Sea Serpents. Sea Serpent, Sea Serpent, Sea Serpent, Sea Serpent, Light Dolphin, is that a Sea Serpent? That's another Sea Serpent. He only plays Sea Serpents. It is just a Sea Serpent deck. But he does play Umi, and he does play Stream. But now we know. Now we do know. You said mini? Well, there you go then. You know what this actually means? We get Fortress Well Structure deck soon. Could you imagine? Could you actually imagine? Hello, Ursus. Welcome, welcome. And congratulations on your performance in the GRF, Ursus. I think you were definitely the best performing player out of, like, regulars in the community. Obviously, you didn't, like, end where you wanted to end, but I still think it was a really good showing overall. Really, really good showing overall. Tier 0 card comes next. OG-san. This is Tier OG-san. That's who this is. That's what tier he goes into. Hello, Lost Memory. Welcome, welcome. No Sea Serpents only on Gohar Yujin. I don't remember if it's Sea Serpent, Fish, or Aqua. Mum, can we have Phaser at home? Exactly, exactly. Now I know. Thanks. Highest I got was 55k, which is insane. Even if I could play all weekend, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be able to get to first place. I wouldn't be able to get to 55k. Maybe, again, I can say whatever number I want because I can't prove otherwise, right? I think if I went full throttle, played the best deck in the room, and played the entire weekend, I'd maybe get to like 30, 35 to 45. There's no way I'd get up to 55. No chance in hell I would get up to 55. I'll tell you that right now. So, So huge congratulations to that. But yeah, OG Sand is just, this card is just awful, right? It's so bad. A tired old fish that can't seem to get rid of his aches. Let's be honest, guys. I think I see a lot of myself in this card. And I'm not sure if that is a good thing or a bad thing. Bro bribe Konami, I know it. I got 90k, I mean 9k. There we go, 9k. I mean, you should still be happy with 9k if that was what we actually got. So then, we'll move on to the gift campaign. So, gift campaign, neat. Okay, we're getting some nice speed cards. That's pretty cool. Upgrade Goblin. So we did say we're getting Upstart Goblin. We're probably going to get some of the Upstart Goblin support, right? At some point. And here's our first one, Upgrade Goblin. So send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard. Special summon a level 6 or lower monster from your hand face-up to your field. So notably, you can use this to summon out XQT cards. There's something there. The monster special summon by its effect gains 500 attack to the end of this turn. Okay, so what's the best thing to go into? You can't go into Flower, because Flower only gets its effect on normal summon. Like, Ram or Lucy would probably be okay to go into. You could summon, like, Lilius to get out as a 3k attacker. I mean... Not bad. One copy is rough. Yeah, only having one copy makes this really awkward. But then if you have Upstart Goblin in the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Oh, crazy. So you get to do half of the life points you gave them with the Upstart Goblin. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, but this or 80 gems. I mean, if you're a Rush player, if you're collecting every single Rush card, it's no question you get the Upgrade Goblin. You 100% get Upgrade Goblin, right? What does 80 gems get you? Like a pack and a half? That's going to get you a rare and like 2 normals. And then like get you most of the way, well, I say most of the way, like just over halfway to another pack. In my mind, it's not even a contest. You always get Upgrade Goblin. If though you're like very free to play, or you're like a speed player, you can probably get the gems. And when I say free to play, I mean like we're not playing every day, right? We're coming back to the game every now and then. You probably get your 80 gems. But if you're an actual Rush player, yeah, you just get Upgrade Goblin. No question. No question. Goblin being buffed, look kinda at the Banlist Trust. Real. Wow, Upgrade Goblin FTK tier 1 deck. That'd be actual crazy. Actual crazy. Goblin Gaming. It will get me 3 UR Trust. Impossible is only for those that don't believe. I mean, I am... This doesn't really make any difference. At this point as well, I don't think you'd even bother playing this in XQE, but I don't know, maybe there's like a weird time when you would. I don't know, it's a weird one. Definitely a weird one. But moving on, we have the Spring Thank You campaign, which is interesting. We got the Slife of the Sky Dragon, like, ink art, which is interesting. We're going to get the Ra, and I believe we already have access to the Obelisk, which you can get from, like, a quest currently. Which is, I mean, these are cool. I don't know how I feel about the arts. I don't know. You guys tell me. What do you guys think about the artwork on these cards? I don't think it's, like, bad, but I also don't think it's, like, crazy good. Maybe I'm just a bit of a purist. I've always just liked the originals. I think this looks peak, right? With, like, the green aura around it and, like, the hieroglyphs in the background. I think this looks good, but I don't think it looks as good as this. And I've always thought the alt arts just look worse. I don't like this. I don't really like this. I don't really like this. This for me is peak. This is peak. This is, like, fine, though. They're interesting. Looks cool. I mean, again, I think it looks cool. I just don't think it looks as good as this. But, you know, I might be in the minority. Better sepia? I mean, kinda. Imagine if that was a Chronicle effect. That would go pretty hard. But I don't know how the heck you would do that. Unless you'd use, like, AI to do it or something. So, beyond that, we have the Duel Links Meta Snapshot posted by Bismuth. Everyone loves Bismuth. I always like to keep up to date with this because it lets me keep an eye on how the meta is actually performing. Because, like, the tier list gives you good information and some really good information from the top players. But, like, this is how the meta is actually shaking out, right? So, I always like to keep an eye on this. Trap Tricks is still up here. Is this Drytron as well? I don't really know what Drytron looks like in speed, but... so we got Galaxy Photon. We've got... I assume this is Both? Galaxy and Photon? Or one or t'other? I lose track, if I'm being completely honest. B-Troopers, nothing too surprising there. We got Punk. I assume this is using the Stardust skill? I don't actually know if they're using that skill anymore. Although, here's Stardust, so maybe not. I don't know what skills Punk's using at the moment, because I remember the Punk skill being kind of crap. I don't know if they're still using it. Drytron popping off. I mean, I don't know, I always have this, like, weird grudge against Drytron, because I hated playing against it in Master Duel, but it's a different deck, right? So, it's hard to, like, gauge it. Blue Eyes and Dark Magician hanging out, just holding hands down here. Branded still hanging out. Still here. Looks like we got Rebecca doing something as well, which is interesting. Is this Baylor Druck? Is Zombies doing stuff? We being real right now? Yeah, Zombies. It made it into a top 4 finish during the 6K Duelist Kingdom number 10. Okay. I see you. And then we go over to Rush, and I mean, you guys know how Rush goes, right? We got, let's be honest, Noodles probably not quite on the same level as the other decks here, but it's nice that it's there. It's nice that it's there. You gotta take what you can get. You have to take what you can get. But we'll head over and we'll check out the OCG stuff real quick. So, dual markers. I don't know what to say about dual markers. So, they brought out a product which is 2 cards. And the way it works is, instead of playing rock, paper, scissors with your opponent, which has always been like quote unquote like the official way to decide who goes first in Yu-Gi-Oh! You shuffle these, and then one of you goes first and one of you goes second, depending on which card you got. Is it just me, or does this make not like a whole lot of sense? Like, this is... Konami is trying to do absolutely everything they can just to not let you roll a dice to decide who goes first. It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't know, man. Like, on one hand, it's cool this is a thing. I think, like, it's a nice, like, collectible or whatever. At the same time, I feel like it's so unnecessary. It's like, we don't need to reinvent rock, paper, scissors. It's just not needed. But, whatever. Fundamentally, it doesn't really matter. I want this deck in Rush Duel Links. I mean, yeah, it would be cool to get the actual Sky Savior cards. But the actual these things... I mean, you could put these instead of the coin flip in Rush Duel Links if they really wanted to. Maybe they will eventually. Waifus are always necessary. Real. Thank you for following, Kim Friend, I guess. Welcome. So next up, we have our new Galaxy Prize card, which is interesting. We don't really have anything to go on. I don't know what type this is. I assume it's going to be a warrior. But we have like a really tiny images of the cards down here. We have an Overrush version and a normal version. It's just going to be a normal monster, like all of the prize cards. Nothing too exciting. But it's neat that it's here. Oh, here we go. It's a Celestial Warrior? Oh, that's a question mark. Okay. I don't think it's going to be a Celestial Warrior. I think that would be very strange. Like, very, very strange. But it is another level 8 Earth Normal, so could be support for some sort of deck. Moving on, we have new plasmatic model cards. So this is the first one, which is, I mean, it looks alright. Looks okay. Level 8 Light Thunder Ritual Effect Monster, 2500 attack. Continuous effect, all face-up monsters on your opponent's controls lose 600 attack and defense. It's an okay effect. Nothing great, nothing awful. This is just a okay effect, right? The deck is basically how many Floodgate Fusions you can summon at once. I think you are somewhat... I think that is an over-exaggeration, right? Realistically, it did just get another Floodgate, right? So now it has 2 Floodgates. But the original Floodgate wasn't even that oppressive. Like, it was... Don't get me wrong, it wasn't super fun to play under a Floodgate, but it wasn't, like, the worst thing ever. I would argue that it was not as bad as, for example, Yamiterasu. I think Yamiterasu is a much worse Floodgate than the Sky Savior stuff. And the Sky Saviors also have a lot of other monsters they can go into. The deck was actually quite enjoyable to play. I will say, though, with the introduction of their new trap card that they got, I say new, again, this was like, it came out like over a year ago at this point. I still think that that trap card made them fall into more of a control style gameplay, which was like a bit rough, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Thank you for following Moon Knight. Welcome. So we have Plasmatic Model, Another Play. So this is a new ritual spell card. This card is treated as model play while in the graveyard. Ritual summon another Rising Blau or another Rising Listella by sending face-up thunder monsters from your field whose combined levels total 8 or more as materials. So this is fine. You could use this to replace Listellas, because Plasmatic Model Rising Listella has a different ritual spell. I don't know if you'd like replace it with this or not, but does anyone know how I unlock the skill Chaos Draw for Nash? I mean, I personally don't. But what I would typically do is probably come over here, go to skills. What's it called? Chaos Draw. Barion's Chaos Draw. So for Nash, it is a drop. So you have to get it as a drop from Nash. So just keep dueling them. Just keep grinding away. And that is it. So next up, we have, what's this? Departure Zone, which is a field spell. So send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard, other than on the first turn. Other than when on the first turn when you go first. That is a really interesting restriction. While this card is face up in the field zone, this card cannot be destroyed by effects. That's again a really interesting protection. And the player who has this card in their field zone, if they would draw 5 cards during their draw phase for their normal draw, they draw 6 cards instead for their normal draw. What a weird one. I don't think I would play this in anything. Like, mill 2 generically, but like mill 2 and then no benefit, and then for the rest of the duel, you get +1? Like, maybe for playing like a super slow control deck? Maybe? I feel like the game's a little bit too quick for this now, though. Like, this is a really, really slow card. Like, really, really slow. Either replace the old spell, or just have more ways to summon another Rising Listella. It's good. It's generic too. I don't know. I think this is the kind of card that the Sukimuras of the world are going to really enjoy. Like, cooking with. And for the rest of the competitive scene, they're probably going to ignore this. But I don't know. Maybe it'll do something. Maybe it'll do something. You would need to have 0 in hand to get the extra card draw too. Yeah, actually, if they would draw 5 during their draw phase. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Unless, that could be like a mistranslation, so I'm not going to like hold that at face value. But if it does work like that, that makes it even weirder. For sure, for sure. Duel Links card. So next up, we have our OCG ban list. So the limit regulation is a set of rules, blah, 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 blah. Effective April 1st. So newly banned cards. We have our 3rd banned card in Rush Duel. We have a Floodgate that stops you from special summoning. We have a Floodgate that stops you from special summoning. And now we have a monster that can attack 3 times and completely dominated an entire meta for like 2 to 3 months and was kind of busted. Bah! So, let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. This card is toxic as hell. This card never should have come out. This card probably, I wouldn't say is inherently just like a bad fit for the game, but I think they should have released this card a little bit weaker than it was, right? This card like broke the game for a long time. So let's not get like sympathetic towards this card. And also, because this card was so powerful, we had to have a bunch of other Harpy cards hit as well. So now that this is banned, we can take some of the other Harpy cards off, which is better, right? It is better overall. Wait, Harpy is still a thing in OCG? So Harpy was a thing, and it was tier 0, absolutely the best thing in the world. Then it got hit with a ban list that put this to 1. It put like 3 of the other cards to 1 as well. So like we had to like put everything to 1 to stop this being a deck. Now, the deck was still seeing some results a little bit after that, but has since, like, pretty much fallen off. But the deck was, like, still a rogue deck, even with all these hits, right? So the deck was still around, it just wasn't anywhere near as dominant as it once was, right? The fusion is that strong, huh? Yes, it's so busted. It was busted, I should say. At one copy with all the other hits, again, it was fine. But I think they wanted to let some of the other cards off, so I kind of get it. It's the maximum, but much more consistent. Kind of? Kind of. Darth Victor wants to change the game out. I mean, we're not going to be logging into the game today, Victor, so you're going to have to let me know for next time. I don't know why you're randomly redeeming that now, but hello. 1, 2, 3 is fine. I don't think that's going to happen. Rush only bans floodgates, floodgates of summons, and floodgates of my life points. Kinda. Still a top 5 deck. I wouldn't say that Harpies is still a top 5 deck, personally. I would not say that. Yeah, this card might as well be a floodgate. Not really, it's just because all the other Harpy names are unlimited now. This has to be banned because now summoning it would be very easy. They want Harpy to be more of a control deck now. I mean, yeah, Harpy has some really good trap tools. And they still have, like, the Pigeon trap as well, which is also really good for Harpies. So, like, it's always been a really, really strong one. I'm not actual one, I'm just doing a test or something. Why did you want to test it? In general, they work. Oh, that worked. You're the only one I'm following that was live. I don't understand what the idea was there, Victor. But anyway. So, newly restricted cards. So, we have, arguably, the 2 best decks in the game right now. Defiant Soul and Monarchs. So, these are the 2 number 1 and 2 decks in the game. And these are the hits. We're putting Emperor's Triumph down to 1. This is a fine hit. I don't mind this. This reduces the consistency. This is like one of their consistency tools. I'm a little bit worried. This might not be quite enough. But we'll have to wait and see. We are going to have to wait and see how this does. We're going to have to wait and see how this performs. Notification redeems doesn't work for all stuff. I wanted to try one. Monarch is not a meme like in Duel Links. OCG is so wild. So it was a meme. It was a meme. Then they released a structure deck for Monarchs, which gave them, like, basically an entire new deck and made the deck good. Like, they forced it to be good by giving it so much really good support. I mean, the best deck is Defiant Soul. After that, 2 decks with high percent, Spark Cuts and Monarchs, and then a whole bunch of decks in the tier 2, tier 3 range. Harpy is always at the top of those somewhere in results. Again, I don't think that is strictly speaking true. But again, it depends like where you're getting the results from, right? So, for example, if we go over and check out the latest tournament results, let's have a look quick. We will indulge. Where is everyone's favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush G? Let's see what they... Although they haven't posted one in a very long time. So the last Challenge Cup winning deck distribution, best deck was Defiant Soul, then Spark Hearts, then Emperor, then Hero, Vic Viper, so Gradius, Music Princess, and Fish. Now, I think Fish is very much an outlier there. But typically, I don't know, I haven't seen Harpies performing well. Like, they're still around, they still get the odd top hitter in there, but like, I haven't seen them popping off recently. Let me have a look. Let's go back a little bit, see if there's anything back here. Rebel, Spark Hearts, Emperor. What was the next after that? Then Hero. Let's grab this over. Let's check this out. If we go Google Translate. Images. Nope, that's not helpful. Images. Ugh, alright. Copy image. So then we have, what? Hero, Super War Lion, Celeb Rose, Necromaid, Big Viper, Raku... I don't know what Rakuhime is. Something Princess? Something Princess? Fish Tribe again. Fish Tribe keeps coming up. And then Crazy is Delirium, I want to say. So, like, I mean, it's just not... I'm not seeing Harpies. Right? I don't know. To me, Harpies isn't a top 5 deck. It's like, it's kind of a rogue pick. Like, it'll be there. It'll get some tops. It's not a dominant deck anymore. DS doesn't care. Defiant Soul doesn't care all that much about this hit. They could just run 2 Stitch to plug the hole. yes. I mean, again, we haven't really gotten to the Defiant Soul stuff yet. But in terms of the Monarchs, I don't know. I think you needed to hit something else. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Necromade Resize, also limited. And as United's already said, United also, by the way, does play this deck quite a lot. So I haven't really played Defiant Soul. I've played against it a bit. I haven't played it myself. That being said, I would personally have liked to see their draw spell get hit. So now the question is, what is their draw spell? It's this one, right? Beginning Skullrise. I would have liked to see this get hit down to 1. So during a turn you have not activated Beginning Skullrise, send 1 Geigust. Thank you, Fable, for the follow. Send 1 Geigust or Sulfurus the Defiant Soul from your hand to the graveyard, draw 3 cards. Then if you have 4 or more monsters in your graveyard, send 1 other card from your hand to the graveyard. So if you don't have 4 or more monsters in your graveyard, this is a -2 for a +3, right? Because you lose 1 card, and you lose this card, and you get a +3. So that's a natty +1, which is really good for a non-legend card. But I would have hit this, personally, as well, but this is what we've got, right? This is what we've got. Top 5, top 8 is about right. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see it as a top 8 for sure. Monarch is just going to run 3 trade-in now instead of 2. Still so confusing that Drush wasn't hit. I'm not a big fan of either of these decks. I don't really play Monarchs, and I don't really play Defiant. So you guys know. I'm a Spark Hearts truther, okay? Spark Hearts is the true deck, okay? Music Princess Witch. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I can link the post if you want, Volt. This was from Challenge Cup, 44 entry Challenge Cup in February 12th. I'll chuck it in chat so you can see where the data was from. But it just says Music Princess. So, but hello, Volton. Welcome. Craziest Delirium. Yep. A structure deck buffing Monarchs in the OCG, just like TCG SMH. At least OCG doesn't have domain. Yet. Alright, semi-limits. So, restriction eased. So that means that everyone's favourite deity of the 7 treasures has gone from limit 1 to limit 2. I don't know how to feel about this. I like this card. I also hate this card. This card was really good. Raku Hime's music. Ah, I see. So Raku is music and Hime is princess then, I assume. Learning Japanese. Oh, yeah. But this, So my biggest complaint about the 7 treasures stuff is you end up playing against, like, good stuff piles. And good stuff piles are a really weird... They're in a really weird spot. Because on one hand, having good stuff piles in the game allows for a bit of, like, creative expression. And it allows you to work out what the best individual cards are, put them all into a deck, work out some incremental synergies, build a really interesting deck. On the other hand, it is just kind of a pile of staples. So it feels kind of like a GOAT format kind of style of thing where you just take all the best cards, put them in a deck, and say, bam, there you go. So I don't know. I think personally, I do prefer like archetypes, or, you know, if people are very purist about it, like series, which specifically have decks work within a set frame where they're supposed to work with other cards. Whereas the Ship of Seven Treasures deck is kind of just level 7 good stuff, which you can just put anything with, because it doesn't really restrict you into any types or anything else. So I should probably mention what this card does. If you have a level 7 monster with, is it 2600 defense, or a Ship of 7 Treasures in defense, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it has 2600 defense. Or 2700 defense? I can't see its defense. I can't remember. It's got a lot of defense. And then its effect is that your face down spell traps and your level 7 monsters can't be destroyed by card effects. Now, this was crazy powerful for a very long time, because we didn't have many ways to get rid of cards outside of destruction. But since this card's come out, we've got a lot of shuffle cards into the deck, bounce cards back to the hand, right? We've got a lot of those sort of effects. So it's meant that this card's power has kind of gone down a little bit, but if this card comes back, it means that Now, cards that pop could be a little weaker. In a format where Incursion exists, I will honestly take it. I mean, there you go then. Controller's really weak right now because of Incursion. It's so really appreciated. I mean, that's fair. That is absolutely fair. Is that Milanesso in the chat? Hello, hello, Milanesso. Welcome, welcome. So the other thing is, I haven't been playing as much OCG since Mono stopped doing his tournaments, which is a bit of a shame. I should probably play in some of the Ragnarok ones. But I've also been, like, kind of busy as well. It's been kind of tricky to find something that works for me. But I should probably try and play in a Ragnarok event, because I do want to play a bit more OCG, and I haven't been able to play it as much. So maybe I would have a difference of opinion if I was playing a lot of competitive games in the current format. But this card's always been a little bit tricky, right? And then cards whose restrictions are lifted. So, Beaver Warrior is back to being unlimited. I think this is good for the deck overall. And also, we'll jump down here to Legend Strike. I think this is both going to buff the same deck. Legend Strike is obviously a little bit more generic, but people were playing it a lot in the Black Magician of Chaos deck, so I think this is going to be a double buff for that deck, which I think is pretty cool. And then obviously we're seeing the unhits of 2 of the Harpy cards. That's just because I think this is fine. Now, should we have unhit Harpy's Pet Master? That is the question. Because that card is really good, but now that the deck has lost its big fusion boss monster, should we have brought back its easy pop? I think it's difficult to say without having like a wider view of the entire environment at the moment, but I think there's an argument for it at the very least. Beaver Warrior was on the Rush ban list. So this Beaver Warrior is really, really good. This was a +2. Again, off memory, I'm going to say its effect was, on normal summon, during the turn that you normal summon it, you can bring back a monster from your graveyard that has 1200 attack and 1500 defense, or 1400 attack, 1200 defense. And if you haven't drawn a card this turn, draw a card. So this was a free +2, and usually the card you got back, which would usually be like your... What's it called? What's the pink... The stupid pink guy called? I can't remember his name, but he would also give you a +1. So this one card was sort of a +3. So like that kind of explains as to why it was. Legend Strike Unlimited. Legend Strike Unlimited is pretty cool. Legend Strike is an outdated card because of Legendary Magician. The thing is, Legend Strike is still sort of just Monster Reborn, right? You could just use this to bring back any level 4. So, for example, you don't want to use it on Beaver Warrior, because Beaver Warrior is only a normal summon. But you could use it to bring back a lot of the other level 4 cards from the Black Magician of Chaos deck, and then use their effects. So this card's still really good. It's just not like the meta-warping card it was when it first came out, right? Is that Kyber Corp Con community guest Tomato streaming? How is the yap going? And did we get any Rush leaks? Hello, hello, Rarity. We'll do an exclamation mark Rarity in the chat. The yap is going well. We've gone through a lot of the generic stuff. Now we're talking about the OCG stuff. We're talking about the new ban list that's just come in, which is an interesting one. We haven't touched on the leaks yet. We were going to do the speed leaks first and then the rush leaks, but the rush leaks is just one skill. That's all it is. So nothing crazy, but it is a Maddox skill. So if you're Maddox fans... Griffle, thank you, Alex. Thank you. The extra draw is on Winged Dragon, not Beaver. I was so close. I was so close to getting it right, but doing it off memory is always really bad. It's always really bad trying to go off memory. That's why you should always just have it in front of you. Unfortunately, I can't read Japanese, so... I should have seen there's no 1 in here. Because if it was draw a card, it would say a 1 somewhere in here. So I should have known from that, but it is what it is. Are we back, Pyro Bros? I mean, I wouldn't get your hopes up, but there's always a chance. L-Strike is free now. Void Vav Bros, we are eating good. But yeah, overall, I think this list is fine. I don't mind seeing this banned. I hate this card. But again, I'm usually not a person to hold a grudge, right? I'm not a grudge holder. If someone has wronged me, I will be angry with them in the short term. In the long term, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Whatever, right? However, I don't forgive tier 0 decks. It's something really weird that's been like hardwired into me. I will never like a deck that was tier 0 at any point. I just don't like them. So like whenever I see Harpies now. I'm like, that was a tier 0 deck. I don't like it. I don't like it. Get out of here. Wait, what ban? Yes, Mila. Harpy Ladies 1, 2, and 3 is now banned. Which is crazy to say. Again, I feel these hits might not be enough. But I think the logic is we don't want to murder the decks. We just want to give them a slap on the wrist and hopefully bring the power level down a smidge. Like, maybe they're just like, if we can just reduce these down to be around the same level of Spark Hearts, that's like a good meta to be in, maybe. This is probably fine. Like, this is like a little bit worrying, but I don't even know what decks are going to be able to take advantage of this in the current metagame. So maybe it'd be fine. And then I think all of these are great. I'm happy to see all of these unhit. So overall, I think this is a pretty good ban list. Moving on. We have the speed leaks. It's time, guys. It's time. So, I'll say this again, even though we say this every time. I don't play a ton of speed at the moment. I played a decent amount of speed a while ago. So, we're going to have to, like, take this with a pinch of salt. I might not, like, understand all these cards immediately, but this is going to be pretty good. So this is a deck that everyone has been waiting for a very, very long time. This is Kyber's XYZ Dragon Cannon deck. And I guess because the thing is, this isn't like ABC, right? This is the new XYZ, not the ABCs. So it's like... But anyway, we'll read the skill. You can only use the skill's second and third effects once per duel. If your extra deck contains at least one XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon. At the beginning of the duel, banish one X-Head Cannon, one Y Dragon Head, and a Z Metal Tank from outside of your deck. During this duel, you cannot normal or special summon monsters, excluding special summons from the extra deck, except Light Machine Normal / Union monsters, Obelisk the Tormentor, and X-Cross Cannon. Play one Light Machine Union monster from your hand face up to your field. Then you can add a level 4 Light Machine monster from your deck to your hand. If your opponent controls a monster, or if you control a face-up level 8/10 Machine Fusion monster, set a spell trap that mentions Union monster from your deck to your field. It can be activated this turn. There is a lot going on here. There is so much going on here. That's kind of exciting, but just because we most likely get the XYZ stuff in Rush soon. I mean, I doubt we would get it in Duel Links soon, right? It can't be a coincidence. How would unions even work in Rush? So we know we're getting unions in Rush. They've already announced it. We don't know exactly how they're going to work. My guess is they will have... Like, they'll have a little thing on them saying they're a union monster. And then they'll probably try and move all that cumbersome union text to the rulebook, right? They'll just be like, oh, this is a union monster. Therefore, you can just use it as a union. And I think they'll come up with like a new wording for like Rush unions, but effectively it's going to work exactly the same. You'll just put them in the spell trap zone. They'll be equipped to it in the same way. If it gets destroyed, the union monster gets destroyed instead, etc., etc. That is how I expect it to go, but we don't actually know. Again, that's just guessing. Obelisk trying to sneak in, exactly. We're bringing back Obelisk. Well, we have just got a new copy of Obelisk, right? The new ink Obelisk, so that's neat. We kind of have Flip with Charmers, and it's decently worded. The thing is, Charmers aren't flip effects, right? They simulate like half of a flip effect, which is fine, but it like it's not really a flip effect. Whereas this is actually going to be union monsters, right? So we'll see how that actually works out. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what any of these cards do. I know what this card does. I know what this card does. I know what this card does. I know what an Obelisk the Tormentor is. I haven't played with any of the X-Cross Cannon and any of that stuff, so we're going to quickly just have a quick look at it. So X-Cross Cannon. If you control a Light Machine, Fusion, or Union monster, you can summon this card from your hand. During the main phase, you can equip one appropriate Light Machine Union monster from your deck to this card, as if it were equipped with that monster's effect. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except light monsters. Okay, I mean, this is just good, right? Like, just fine. So this is the big boss then. So X Cross Cannon, Y Yare Head, and Z Zillion Tank. So first we special summon by banishing the above card from your field and or graveyard. Okay, and or graveyard is a very important line of text here. Once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can discard one card, then target one card your opponent's field and destroy it. So a quick effect pop during the opponent's turn. You can banish this card from your field or graveyard, reveal one level 8 Light Machine fusion monster in your extra deck, special summon up to 3 of the fusion materials mentioned from your graveyard and or banish. Okay, so the logic is, we go into this, and then when this dies, or if we want to send it to the graveyard ourselves, we can get back the X, Y, and Z that we have banished from the skill, and then theoretically go into a regular XYZ Dragon Cannon. This is weird. This is weird. This is so weird. Kaiju. Is it a kaiju? What is a kaiju? Am I dumb? Oh, don't answer that question, but... Is any of this a kaiju? Oh, are you talking about, like, it getting kaiju'd? I don't think there's anything kaiju-y in here. Maybe, I don't know. Let's just keep going. Play Light Machine, Union Monster. That's fine. That works with all the other ones. If your opponent controls a monster and you control a face-up, level 8 or 10. I assume this is level 10. No, this is level 8. What's the level 10? What is the level 10? Is it like the VWXYZ? Are they talking about that one? Light Machine Kaiju? Oh, okay. What is it? What's the Light Machine one called? This one, Jizukiru. Does that work, though? Because it has to be a fusion monster, right? And we can't even summon it to our opponent's field, right? Because this has to be special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field. But if we have the skill... Light Machine, normal / union monsters. So they all have to be Light Machine, and then they have to either be a normal or a union monster, right? Which means we can't summon it because it's not a normal or a union monster. Well, I don't think you could do that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Set a spell trap that mentions union monster. I don't know, again, what this union spell trap we're going to want is. Union monster, and we'll just look up spells. Because, I mean, these are dog shit. Union Hanger? We don't have Union Hanger, actually. Maybe it's going to be this. I mean, this would make the most sense, right? If your Light Machine Union Monster card is banished, except during the damage step, you could special summon one X-Head Cannon, Y Dragon Head, Z Metal Tank from your deck. I mean, we never want to have those cards in our deck, really, so I don't know how useful this is going to be. Fusion summon, one fusion monster you control to the extra deck, special summon up to 2. Banish monsters with different names from... Oh, so maybe this is what you're supposed to do? Use the second part of this effect. And then, because we'll have those banished anyway. I don't know. I don't really know where this deck is going. But either way, interesting skill. Next up, Asta. So you can only use this skill's second and third effects once per duel. During your main phase, you cannot normal or special summon level 8 or lower monsters, except dark, fire, wind, hero monsters. So we're very deliberately trying to lock us into Destiny heroes. We're giving it a really good go. Reveal one hero monster in your hand and shuffle one card from your hand into your deck. Then add up to 2 dark hero monsters or fusion destiny from your deck to your hand. Then add 1 D-Force from outside of your deck to your field. If your opponent controls a card, set a Destiny Hero Doom Lord from outside of your deck to your field. Its battle position can be changed. There is so much going on here. So, reveal a hero. Shuffle 1 card from your hand into your deck, so -1. Add up to 2 cards to hand, which can be Fusion Destiny or Dark. So we're now back to a +1. Then add a D-Force to your field. So that's a +2. Then, if only your opponent controls a monster, or if your opponent controls a card, so we're going second, we also get a Doom Lord. So that's now a +3. On turn 2 onward, you can play 1 D-Tactics face up to your field. You cannot activate any effects other than Fusion Destiny and Polymerization until you special summon Destiny Endragoon. What is this card? Or skill even. What is this skill? I don't... Is this even good? Like, what are we doing off this? Like, Destiny Endragoon is obviously good. This is just weird. Doomlord is body for plasma. It's bad. No one uses the effect. Yes. A Doomlord is just kind of crap. But you just get it as an extra body, right? But Plasma is also a really weird one. Thank you for following Omiyagi. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this skill. Like, what is the ideal end board? We're going to floodgate our opponent with Plasma and then end on, like, Dragoon, and that's it? The Year of the Goon. I mean, we already have the, we already have, you know, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So Destiny End Dragoon. This card is pretty good, right? The problem is, how easy is it to get this thing out? Maybe with D-Force? I can't remember what D-Force does. I mean, this card is just generically good. Obviously, it's not, you know, it's not the other one. It's an interesting one for sure, though. Plasma featuring Dystopia, also DPE, not sure be released or not. Yes, I mean, maybe it will be released sooner than later. Hello, Serena, as well. No way Dragoon is coming. That card is so broken. Well, I mean, probably this Dragoon, but, you know. Finally, Destiny will come. I mean, it's one of those things. I am interested to see where this goes, but I'm not entirely sure, right? The default is when the card's activated, you can add Destiny Hero Plasma from your deck or grab it to your hand. While you control Destiny Hero Plasma, apply the following effects. You cannot draw during the draw phase. Your opponent cannot target cards you control with card effects. Each Destiny Hero Plasma you control gains 100 attack for each monster in the graveyard. Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects and can make a second attack during each battle phase. So default is just Plasma Turbo. Is this skill competitive enough? I mean, it feels like we're just trying to go into Plasma, use its floodgate effect to try and turn everything off, and then I guess go into Destiny End Dragoon and then use this to try and, like, beat your opponent up. But the problem is it falls apart as soon as your opponent just gets a kaiju, right? I don't... Again, I'm not necessarily the person to ask, but I don't see this being hyper-competitive, personally. Dark Angel is very good if they don't play Karibo. Well, there you go, then. Next up, Alistair 1. So, if anyone has forgotten who Alistair is one of the Doma gang, or the Orichalcos boys, or whatever we're calling them. So, Alistair is the red-haired one that is always showing his belly button off. He's always got, like, that midriff out. And he has two different decks. One, he plays as Pegasus. He, like, uses Pegasus deck for, like, the first half. And then he plays, like, a fire deck. And the second deck, which is that he uses to use his, like, climactic end of the series duel, he's playing, like, a toy soldier deck sort of thing, where it's, like, a big machine citadel thing that spits out robot tokens. So, like, he's that guy. So you can only use the skill's second and third effects once per duel. At the start of your first turn, activate 1, the Seal of Orichalcos. First off, this is the most important line. You cannot have Orichalcos skills without allowing them to, at the start of the duel, put Orichalcos on the field. That is unbelievably important for the thematic nature of these skills, right? During this duel, you cannot normal or special summon any monsters except machine monsters. So obviously we're leaning away from, like, the fire aspect of his character. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Wait a minute. You can't what now? What is this deck going to be doing? And your opponent takes no effect damage from your card effects. Okay, that line should now be on just all skills. Blanket. The amount of, like, bullshit people come up with just to burn their opponents to deck and use, like, FTKs and stuff. Just put that on every skill. During the turn, you have activated the Seal of Orichalcos. So, during your first turn, reveal 1 level 5 or higher machine monster in your hand. Add 1 level 7 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand. Then send 2 level 7 or higher machine monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard. Like, the only thing I can think of here is that we're going, like, hard into, like, Machina. This is just a Machina deck. Send up to 2 monsters from your field to the graveyard, and then add that many level 7 or higher machine monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. Plasma not enough in this meta? Yeah, that's how I feel as well. But again, anything I say about the speed, you should take with a pinch of salt for sure. Fire and Wind Hero is a reference to Asta playing Avian and Burstinatrix in the anime. The nerf will get DPE, but we have Phoenix Enforcer. Wait, could be. Absolutely could be. Orichalcos Bros. Darts not coming this year. I mean, do you want darts? Like, are you super, like, are you a big darts fan? You just really want to play darts? Like, personally, I think darts is the least interesting out of all of these characters. Make Orichalcos busted, please. Isn't Alistair the Orichalcos guy who dueled Kaiba? Yes, yes he is. Markina, there you go. I mean, that was my thought as well. Therian Regulator is usable. Ooh, that's a point. There is a Therian skill, isn't there? Regulus could be really good in here. What is the first part of the skill? What is that first part of the skill? It's weird, for sure. Hello, Tomato. Hello, JD Scrub. Welcome, welcome. Or like Barrel Dragon. Something tells me Barrel Dragon ain't going to see play. If anything, it would be like Desperado, right? But you could still use like kaijus and stuff with this. This doesn't lock you out of that. My gut is telling me like this is like Fortress Turbo with like maybe the Therian stuff as well. But like, isn't Therians only have like 2 machines, right? Regulus and one more? Because they're all like random different types and attributes, right? I like the Darts plotline. I don't care that much for his deck, and I like his duel, his deck less so. His duel is such a weird duel though, right? Because it's literally like, I don't know. Darts' entire thing is like, I've made a monster with infinite attack points. And it's like, oh, no way. And then Yugi's strat to beat it is, and now I will attack my own monster with my own monster. And an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. And that also makes infinity +1 attack. And it's like, what are we doing? Where are we going with this? Like, it's so strange. It's so strange. It's an interesting skill. I like weird. I mean, I can't fault you for that. This is probably the good Alistair skill, though. So again, my gut is like Citadel Turbo, but we'll see. Because I don't know if Citadel Turbo is better than this, or better with like, you know, using the extra deck and using all of the Infinitrack stuff, but we'll see. I do not disagree. I just like weird. That is fair. Yugi devolved back to Duelist Kingdom logic for that duel. I mean, if it works, right? Alright, so let's take a look at these ones. Alistair 2. You can only use the skill's first and second effects once per duel. Can be used before your normal draw. One of the cards for your normal draw will be a random, the Seal of Orichalcos from your deck. A random, the Seal of Orichalcos. Is that because we're going to have other cards that are treated as Seal of Orichalcos? Reveal one spell trap from your hand. Then either place that card on the bottom of your deck, send it to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. This is one of the generic draw cards. I think this is probably going to be one of the worst generic draw skills. So Machine Avarice, you can use this skill's first effect up to twice per duel. During your main phase, shuffle 3 monsters from your graveyard and or banish cards into the deck, including a machine, then draw 1 card. I mean, that's, again, probably worse than some of the other generic draw stuff, but maybe putting cards back in from exile could be good, or banish. You can use this skill's first effect twice per duel. During your main phase, place a level 5 or higher machine monster from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and then draw 1 card. Again, there might be something you can do with that, like, for example, in the dinosaur deck, you would use the skill to put that, your only level 1 dinosaur, the, I can't remember what his name is. The like, reflective mirror guy. I've already forgotten the names. You put him on the bottom, so that it's always live to be special summoned off of Misk. So, like, something like that, where you run, like, 1 copy and then it fixes a brick. I mean, yeah, seems neat, I guess. I'm curious, what does the actual Seal of Orichalcos do in the actual game? It just gives all your guys 500 attack, is like the be-all, end-all. It has like a line of text in it which like destroys all of your monsters. So there we go. All monsters you control gain 500 attack. Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. While you control 2... That just disappear on me. Rude. Right, let's open it here. While you control 2 or more face-up attack position monsters, your opponent cannot target your monsters with the lowest attack for an attack. So this simulates the whole, like, your back row can't be attacked unless something in the front row is killed. If this card is activated, destroy all special summoned monsters you control. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. You can only activate the Seal of Orichalcos once per duel. There you go. To be fair, I think the Beyond Infinity attack is only a dub thing in the sub. He doesn't mention that, so Timaeus just crashes with Darts the Serpent and splits back into the 3 Legendary Knights. Since Yugi has Dark Magician Girl on his field, but Darts loses his Serpent, Yugi wins. Yeah, but even if it's like, even if that one aspect is removed, it doesn't change the fact that you've just gone infinity, right? Like, I don't think it doesn't change that, like, infinite attack is kind of silly, like, as an idea. Because you have that in the anime as well, where Obelisk gets infinity attack, right? To simulate his, like, deal 4,000 burn and wipe your opponent's board. But again, it doesn't really matter. So, Alistair 3. You can only use the skill's second effect once per duel. At the beginning of the duel, add ace card to your deck. Okay, I mean, this is whatever, right? This is just the add the ace card to the deck skill. Yuma! You can only use the skill's first and second effects once per duel. Why is Yuma getting a skill, out of curiosity? Can be used before your normal draw. Set one number 39 Utopia from your extra deck or graveyard onto your field. Its battle position can be changed. One of the cards from your normal draw this turn will be a random rank up magic limited Barion's Force from your deck. For the rest of this turn, Utopia Ray V deals double battle and effect damage. That's a spooky line of text. Reveal one level 4 monster or one spell card in your hand, then either place that card on the bottom of your deck or send it to the graveyard. Draw 2 cards. Okay, I mean, this seems at least usable. Infinite attack is the most stupid shenanigan ever, I agree. Oh, yeah. You cannot calculate infinite versus infinite, if I'm not mistaken. That's not how math works, surely. I mean, infinite is just like the numbers just keep going, right? And so the logical conclusion you skip to is it will never stop, so it's infinite, right? No more Utopia, please. Hi, Tomato. Did I miss you talk about mana boost support? No, we haven't gotten there yet. We have not gotten there yet, Matea. You've come in at just the right time. We're currently going over the speed stuff. Very tuned cards of any attribute skill. I mean, kinda. I know, this... I have a feeling someone's going to cook something up really annoying with this, but I still don't think this is necessarily going to be better than the other Utopia skill we get, and that's already power crap, so... Don't know how I feel about it. Then, we have our database changes. So, we should go ahead and say as well, some of these are being added to Master Duel. This was already posted by Piper. Obviously, always huge shout out to Piper, because Piper's fantastic. But take this with a pinch of salt, as always. So, we've got some Arcana 4 stuff in here. Sleeping Spirits, Break the Seal. Chaos Distill. Chaos King of Color. We got Colorless. Oh, interesting. Conduction Warrior, Linear Magnum plus minus. Where's the good stuff? We might be getting some of the Dragon Maid stuff, because we just get a Dragon Maid skill buff. I don't know about the Dyna stuff. I guess we could get the Dyna stuff. Did I see SP Little Knight? You did. Machina Overdrive. Magnet Warrior Sigma Plus. Platinum Gadget. Ritual of the Matador. Sprite Jet. And then we got the Therians. Which... is Irregular Regulus? Like, did it get a name change? Let me have a look. No, it's still King Regulus. So, which one's a regular then? Oh, it's this one. This one's a regular. Right. There. So, King Regulus is here. Okay, there he is. There's the boy. The only one that matters, everyone. Therian King Regulus. That's the one we want. So then we have Union Activation, Union Controller, Union Driver, Union Pilot, X-Cross Cannon, Combine, Hyper Cannon, Hyper Dragon Cannon, and then the other ones as well. I mean, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. I'm going to try and unlock Barry and Chaos Draw later. Nice, nice. First, the speed vegetables before you get the rush dessert. Exactly, that's how it goes. Yes, I can't support SP and Kembra Sprite Check. Again, J Strong, welcome, welcome. But take this with a pinch of salt. We are not necessarily getting all of these. We are probably getting some of these. Therian deck, no way. Therians are popular today. I mean, in my mind, I think if we did get the Therians, which to be honest, the Therian cards are quite old, so there is a chance. Surely Regulus comes in limited. There's no way Regulus comes in completely unhit. He's going to be limit 3 or limit 1 or something, right? Philia, Regis, and Ladies Dragon Maid. Therians are popular today. The cool XEs, or XYZ. Are we getting ABCs? There's no ABCs in here. Because the skill we're getting specifically mentions X, Y, and Z, not A, B, and C. So, SP will not come. I think it would be weird for SP to come. At the same time, Konami has done weirder shit. So although I don't think it's coming, I do not think we're going to get SP Little Knight. If they did randomly put it in, I wouldn't be surprised. F this game, I quit. Rest in peace. It's alright, you can quit Speed and just play Rush, it's fine. But yeah, I am interested. Out of all of this, if I'm completely honest, I think the... Not Aster. I think the Alistair the Alistair skill interests me the most. But I'm a big machine player. I like Infinitrack. I like trains. I like Machina, right? I'm a big Earth machine guy. So I'm curious as to what this deck would look like. But part of me is like, it's going to look really weird. So oh, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we'll fix it. I managed to accidentally stop all the music. There we go. And we're back. I want an ABC. Just wait for the next Super Mini selection box for SP. Exactly. If they were going to release it, they'd put it somewhere like that, right? DPE will be released or not. It in previous DB. I mean, it could be. It absolutely could. But again, it's hard to know. It's hard to know. Then you should do a detailed response to Komani on Twitter like Grand and ask them demanding for ABCs. Listen, Grand is already filling that niche, okay? We don't need me trying to fill that as well. But with all of that out the way, and that took a while, let's hop in to the Rush. Now, I know some of you guys are not here for Rush. Unfortunately for you guys, this is pretty much going to be Rush for like the rest of the stream. So if you were just here for the speed stuff, thanks for hanging out. It's been a pleasure. When you guys aren't being rude, you're very lovely. There are a couple of bad actors. You know who you are. But everyone else, absolutely lovely. But now we're going to go into the Rush stuff. Absolutely time for the Rush stuff because we are a Rush focused channel. I'm a Rush focused content creator. So from turn 2 onward, reveal 1 Chemicalized Salamander, Chromatographicus, or Ember, the Super Assistant, in your hand. If all of the monsters in your constructed deck are fire attribute, pyro-type monsters with 100 or more defense. I'm not rude. PTRG, you are always lovely to be around, my friend. You are always lovely. Let's enter the Vrains. Oh, yeah. We need you to do the same for Rush. Demand we get XYZ simul release when it comes to OCG. I mean, that would be cool, but we didn't even get Gradius at the right time. Like, we got our Gradius stuff after everyone else got their Gradius stuff. So, like, we don't get to have that work how we wanted to, unfortunately. Rush. Only to El Chico, Cosmo, and sometimes Profear. Profear made a comeback as well, which was weird. I thought Profear was just gone, and then Profear just came back, and I was like, Rush in my Rush content creator stream? I can't believe it. Hello, Apple Tree. Welcome on in. Potential Man Pyro. Oh, yeah. Is this good, chat? 100 or more, aka don't you dare use noodles. Yes. Again, I apologize. I can only say I'm sorry so many times. Although, I don't actually think I was to blame for the noodles. I think it is a very funny meme to keep up that it's my fault that we're never allowed to play noodles in anything competitive. That's just, I think it's just a really funny meme to keep that going. Hello, did I miss Rush Leaks? We've just gotten to Rush Leaks, Hunter. Welcome on in. Yeah, you're fun as well. That's all I can hope for. That's what I strive for. When Konami release the new cards? So we don't know. Next month is probably the likely outcome, but I couldn't tell you the date. So, as has already been pointed out, 100 or more defense means no 0 defenders, which means no noodles. We're not allowed to play noodles with this skill. Also, everything on a deck has to be fire attribute, pyro type monsters, which means we cannot use thunder and aqua monsters, which means we cannot use any of the support from the kind of future Maddox stuff, which means we can't use any of the Phoenix support, which is... It's not great, if we're completely honest, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So very, very restrictive. What does the skill do? Add 2 normal monsters, affect monsters with 1500 defense, which there aren't a lot of, or fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So first things first, we only have to play 1 copy of fusion. If we want to play it like heroes, we could have 2 copies of fusion, but I don't think you probably would in this deck. Although we're not limited to fusing only once per turn, so maybe. But then send a card from your hand to the graveyard. So this is a +1. A +1 is still good. We like +1s. We would rather have a +2, but we'll take +1. This skill on paper is fine. There's nothing crazy about it. There's nothing super great. And I think because of that, it's going to end up feeling a little bit underwhelming. But what is this skill telling us? First thing, Chemicalized Salamander plus Fusion. Okay? It doesn't take a genius to go Chemicalized Salamander plus Fusion means we're probably getting a Chemicalized Salamander Fusion. We also have Chromatographicus and Fusion. That tells us we're probably getting a Chromatographicus Fusion. Ember the Super Assistant is the interesting one, because I think this might mean we're getting the level 5 Ember. But let's go through these cards so we can kind of talk about what they are. So first things first, the Chemicalized Salamander Fusion. So, Mages in Chemicalized Salamander and Super Assistant Aichi, or Achi, or Ember, as it's now called. Again, this is the old wording, but this is Ember now. During your main phase, this card was special summoned. Destroy all spell traps on the field. That includes your own. Then you can make all face-up monsters on your opponent's field lose attack equal to the number of spell cards destroyed by this effect times 1000. So, first things first, spell cards. So if you pop trap cards, you don't get a boost. So, this card is in a bit of a weird spot. First off, you want to be popping trap cards because they're what are going to stop you. But we don't get the boost unless we hit spell cards. We're just kind of hoping our opponent has a lot of spell cards on the field. This is going to be really good into something like Aqua, most likely. The attack reduction is good, but the way to guarantee this is to set your own spell cards, pop your own spell cards, and weaken your opponent, right? Which is, it's pretty good. Now, the big downside is this card is coming out after we already have Shiny Shady and Compulsory Evacuation Device in the game. Which means if this card did end up being really, really good, people could just swap to Compulse, which some people have already started doing. Not too many of them mind, but some people have. And a lot of people are currently playing 1 or 2 copies of Shady. I think very rarely do people go up to 3 copies of Shady, but quite a few people at the moment are playing 1 or 2 copies. And if you just draw that before Salamander hits the board, well, you just flip it down. This card is now kind of pointless, especially because you can only use the effect during the main phase this card was special summoned, which at the very least doesn't say fusion summoned. So if you could bring this back from the graveyard somehow, if you get like Monster Reborn or something in the future, you can pop the board then, which is at least something. But it's tricky. It is tricky. It is very tricky. And Ultra Ember. Let's try and catch up with chat again. Since it's Fire Pyro, makes think. Right, let's try it all the way back. Regular rush skill. There we go. Noodles are the poor man's Red Eyes. Red Eyes have 3500 beta. We will have a 5500 beta real. Better than Noodles, it can fusion more than once. Yes, but the fusion boss monster I would argue is better because you can pop anything and also brings you back another boss monster, which is also really, really good. So, reads like a regular rush fusion skill. Basically, yeah. Except we don't get to tribute summon our bosses for 1 less tribute, which would be really nice. So true. Could use Secret Order with Starry Start 2. I smell another deck build box. I love deck build boxes. We're almost certainly getting a deck build box arena. Almost certainly. Possible. And since this is a Fire Pyro, it means we can get the maximum fusion. No. I don't think it means that. I'll talk about why as we get to it, but I don't think it means that. That would be our 3 cards in the deck build, which to be fair would have been broken. Oh wait, we can add Hyper Ember from this. Wow, yes you can. And Ultra Ember. Yes, you absolutely can. Hello, Bala Sparkle. Welcome, welcome. Yep, imagine. You're going to get 1000 attack against Aqua unless they don't have the field spell. Whoa. Again, if they have face down spell cards, we can pop them, right? So, and you can pop your own ones. So, could be really good in there. And Execute Capture. Execute Capture won't work on this at the very least because it's level 9. So, that's something. I forgot the fusion destroys your own back row too. Oof. Yeah, again, that can be an upside. That can sometimes be an upside if you're closing out the game. Our biggest shady target since full orchestra. Exactly. Question, does alchemicalized salamandra pop also field spells? Yes. Just anything that's a spell. Or any spell trap on the field. The only fire pyro effect 1500 defense for the skill search is Magmax Mental Vendor, Ember, the Hyper Assistant, and Chemicalized Salamander. What about the other one? Isn't she also fire pyro? Ember, the Ultra Assistant? Isn't that 1500 defense, or am I getting that mixed up? We'll have a look at it in a minute either way. Yeah, nice. Yes. Ooh, we literally can't play L and R places at the maximum of the skill. We 100% don't get the maximum fusion spell or monster. Yeah, that's fundamentally where we were going with this, but I was, you know, we were going to do a slow reveal, but this is fine. So Alchemicalized Salamander is, this card is fine. It's okay. The downside is, Pyro have a lot of ways to cheat monsters out, so you shouldn't really be tributing out Salamander, right? So what you'll probably do is summon out, like, you know, Super Assistant, or whatever, the one that tributes itself, or the Legend monster, tribute them off, summon out your boys. So that's one card, plus one card to get your Salamander on the board. Then we need Fusion, so that's another card. Then we need Archie, so that's, or Ember, so that's another card. So this is a 4-card investment to get this out. The skill gives us a +2, so we should have 6 cards to work with. Which means, assuming we can get this out, assuming its effect lands, we'll have 2 cards left over to try and wipe our opponent out. Now, the best thing to do with that is going to be our opponent has a bunch of face-up cards, we don't get stopped with trap cards, and then we use one of our last 2 cards as a secret order that brings back Chromatographicus, and then we just attack into our opponent, hopefully with 0 attack monsters, and OTK them. That is the hope. I don't know how often that's going to work, but that is the way this deck is going to try and function. It's going to punish people for playing a lot of monsters face-up and not playing trap cards. Which, could be okay. I mean, it could be okay. You could set dead curses from your hand to increase the debuff. Nice. Yes, you absolutely can. I think we will get the 2 fusion monsters and the Ultra Ember, and then 3 more cards for a second deck we don't know yet. Yes, we could even get like a 2 and a 1 split for new decks, which might, again, just be support for other decks, right? Like, absolutely could be anything. Destroy all back row, you say. Exactly. Destroy all back row. But then we have Super Graphicus Archer. So this is Chromatographicus and Super Assistant Ember. Place 1 level 7 Pyro normal monster, so Chromatographicus, from your graveyard on top of your deck. This card gains 2500 attack to the end of this turn. Okay, 5500 attack. That's quite a lot. Then you can make 1 face-up, level 9 or lower monster on your opponent's field, lose 1500 attack to the end of this turn. So let's say your opponent's got, I don't know, a 2500 attack guy. We'll reduce it down to 15. This goes up to 55. We attack over. We've just done 4000 damage. This is pretty good. It's just big bungus do big bungus attack, right? Is this card, like, broken? I mean, in 6000 life points format, this is a lot better. But everything's a lot better in 6000 life point format, right? 3k damage guaranteed. I mean, yeah. Well, it's more than that, though, right? Or is it? Let's say your opponent had a 3000 attack monster. We reduce it by 15. We'll always got to 55. It's either way, it's really good. But Chromatographicus does have some other fusions. The problem is, these fusions are weird types. So this is a Thunder monster, not a Pyro monster. Now, you don't need to play Pyro monsters in the extra deck, but you do need to play them in the main deck. And Biri is a Thunder monster, so we cannot get this. Plasma Saber is not coming out because we cannot get Biri. Well, we could get Biri. I don't think we're going to. There's no reason for us to get Biri. So I almost certainly think we're not getting this card. We're also not getting Vapor Lancer because, again, this is an Aqua monster and it's made using Haya, which is an Aqua monster. So we're not getting this either, which is kind of sad because these two on their own, like, are pretty good, but primarily they're going to punish face-up monsters, which is sort of what Pyro has always done. Pyro has always been the deck that goes, you're leaving all your monsters face up, I'm going to reduce them all and just smack over you. The most competitive Pyro ever was, historically, was in Gaia format, when Gaia would just basically swarm the board with big guys, and then you'd go, all right, I'm going to reduce all your attack and try and reverse OTK you, right? Which was kind of sad. So yeah, I don't, you know, we're not getting these cards realistically. This is another card that would have been really good. Alchemicalized Orb. This card lets you make one monster inflict piercing damage, which is fantastic. Again, what the deck needs. We need piercing. We want ways to punish set monsters, not just punish face-up monsters. Because if you think about all the cards we have at the moment, or the decks we have that are really good at the moment, right? We have Music Princess, which has big piercing, as well as a spell card that gives a big piercing. And we have a card called Trombeau that can flip your opponent's monsters up. So we have lots of ways to punish your opponent playing face-down monsters. If we look at Red Eyes can use the Meteor Flare Fusion to pop face-down monsters out of the way and just attack your opponent directly for 35, sometimes even 7,000 damage, depending on if everything's set up correctly. Pyro aren't going to be able to do that, right? We're going to be able to punish face-up monsters, and that's going to be about it. So if we have to rely on Curse, it's going to be really awkward. And if our opponent is able to just play around everything, so for example, if they can keep 2 cards in their hand in set 3, like what do we do? Like what do you do as a Pyro player? I got nothing. I can't do anything. The current Pyro deck can go through set 3, so we need Curse or the Noodle Art of Spicery, I guess. The Pierce Fusion monster is the Aqua Thunder Pyro version of the deck, and the Fusion spell is for the maximum version. I've arrived on break. Hello, Promanicus. Fusion for maximum Pyro. Again, we can't get the maximum Pyro, because the maximum Pyro is Aqua and Thunder as the side pieces, so we can't really use that. And it'd be really weird for them to drop the Fusion spell and the Fusion monster when we can't really use it. We'd have to just use just the middle piece and fuse just that, which would be really strange, so I don't expect that at all. And we will not get, we can't play the maximum. Why would we get the spell for it? Music Princess surely dies this ban list. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it does. Pain. Pyro gonna be the new Dark Galaxy Fusion. I mean, Dark Galaxy Fusion at least has the ability to deal with a lot of, like, stuff, right? You at least get the Dark Hole device, which is a really, really strong effect, right? But, obviously, our Chemicalized Orb, we're not getting this card. We're also having a seat, because I've been stood up for, what, an hour and 40 minutes, and I want to sit down. Next up, a card that we actually could get. Ember, the Ultra Assistant, 1500 defense. So I think we are going to get this card, because, again, we can search this with the skill. And this card is okay. So if we have 10 or more cards in your deck during the turn that you normal summon this card, we get to draw 1 card. Okay, so we have to give up a card because we have to tribute this out, because it is a level 5. Then we get to draw a card, so we've replaced the card that we've minus, so we've broken even. Then, if you have Ember the Super Assistant in your graveyard, which again, we should do because we could just search out an Ember and, like, an Ember the Super and Ember the Ultra. Send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add 1 fire attribute monster from among the cards sent. So this is kind of gambling a little bit. You're only milling 2, so if you do mill double Spell Trap, ooh, that's not the best. But in some situations, you better get back a monster for sure, which is going to be pretty good. And you can activate the effects of monsters whose original level is 5 until the end of this turn, which basically means you just can't use double Ember in a single turn. Tomato, did you see Fishies? Yes, we've already talked about the Fishies, Manicist, and how unfortunately we don't think it means anything, which is very sad. Very, very sad. Be skilled and draw Curse. The thing is, if your opponent is able to set 3 and keep 2 cards in their hand, like, it's what people used to do against Hero. So I think it was when it was Hero and Light Galaxy were 2 of the best decks. Light Galaxy players, if they had a hand good enough, would just set 3, keep 2 in hand. And then the Hero players were like, well, I mean, I could make a Flame Wingman and attack over your guy. And that's kind of it. So it was like a really awkward matchup. Again, at like the highest level. Stop defense stonks real. Pyro in terms of outing set 3 functionally like Hero, which I think is fine. Hero is in a weird spot though, where Hero can out, and also they can play like a bit of a weird control game, because they can just pick off your opponent's resources. Pyro, I mean, I guess has to invest more into it, because you can go Alchemicalized Salamandra, which requires like slightly more difficult. It's basically 1 extra card to go into this than it would be to go into a Burst Wingman. So I guess it works out fine. Ultra Assistant is just okay, isn't it? I mean, Ultra Assistant is a +1. It fills the graveyard a bit more. The question is, do you need the graveyard filled for anything? I mean, I guess getting like Chromatographicus in the graveyard can be nice, but... I wonder if Dark Galaxy will be in this box as it hasn't had any reprints. So, I mean, potentially, but there's only 3 slots left. So, in a deck build box, we only get 6 new cards. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get Salamandra, Super Graphicus Archer, and Ember the Ultra Assistant, which means there's only 3 slots left. So we could get a Dark Galaxy, like, release, but it would only be 3 cards. So... Gamba Turbadish? Kind of. Yeah, I mean, Turbadish gets you the 2 back, but you get to choose the 2. This is a draw, and then a mill, and then you get 1 back. So, kinda. Fill it for Salamander. I wish it changed its name too. It is what it is, though, right? So, one of the... Alright, I don't think we're going to get this, but I'm going to bring this up every time Pyro gets a new deck. I want Splame. Please give me Splame. Right, I'm just saying. Music Princess is allowed 3 ballet, right? Heroes is allowed a Miracle Fusion. Why can't Pyro have a Splame? Why can't Pyro have a Splame? Let Pyro have a Splame. Shuffle 2 Pyro monsters from your graveyard into the deck. This turn, this card's name becomes the same as 1 level 8 or lower monster in your graveyard, which just makes summoning your monsters, your fusions, easier. It's still not even, like, as good as just dropping Miracle Fusion, bam. Ballet, bam, right? Give me Splame. I want Splame. The problem is, I don't think they're going to dedicate 4 slots to just this new Pyro deck. But I want it. I want this card. Please, Konami, give me Splame. Surely more QT support. I mean, they could. They absolutely could if they wanted to. Yes, 3 cards XQE might be the way. I mean, they at the very least could put in another Contact Fusion just in this deck box. They absolutely could. They absolutely could. Explain to me why we don't have this card yet. I can't explain that to you. I can't. It should already be here. Let's be honest. Hey, I'm awake. Restart the entire stream like right now. Well, good for you, Soramir, because we have all of our VODs saved. And they're even exported over to YouTube, so they're always there for you to see. Splame as the rank ticket reward copium. I would love that so much. The thing is, I feel like the rank tickets are for legends and bad cards. And this is neither of those things. So I don't think it would, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes bad legends. Damn. Who needs Prisma? We have Splame, exactly. The boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Splame. I think you didn't understand me? No, I understood. I just didn't really give a shit. But with that done, everything else is just hyper speculation. It's like, what do we think the other 3 spots in the box could be? Like, again, you could drop another XQE Contact Fusion if you really wanted to push that deck. Like, there is that chance. Other than that, it's just entire speculation. We have no idea what they're going to drop, right? It has been a while since the rank tickets were good. I mean, Fred is still pretty cool. Everyone loves Fred. The real question to Tomato is, did you get Mystical Elf in Prismatic Rarity? I did not, I don't think. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I didn't. They could give us that Jin Fusion too. They could. I don't know if that's going to do anything, but they could. And also, I think we're still locked to 1 Methyl or Ethyl. One of the 2, But moving on from that, I think it's time to talk about the ban list. So, this was our old wish list and predictions. So, we didn't get a lot of this. I mean, Darkhold Device, I think, is limit 2 now, right? So, we got that one right. Cirque did get hit. Not how we wanted it to, but it got hit. Curse the Rising Light did not get hit. Ballet did not get hit. Dragonic Pressure did not get hit. Yamaterasu did not get unhit. Strange Witch did not get hit. Pot of Greed did not get moved. Was this... I think this was before Pot of Greed was limit 1, right? Because I think instead of limit 3, it went to limit 1. So it did get hit, just not how we thought it was. Tear Thing is still kind of bullshit. Shield Boring Kong went to 1 instead of 3. Leo didn't get touched. Turbodish didn't get touched. Action didn't get touched. Pierce did not get touched. People laughed at me. I still stand by the Pierce suggestion. Maybe now I don't care about this as much. At the time. Alchemicalized sounds like a big amount of cheese. That's fine. A big cheese maximum would go really hard. Well, a fusion, I guess, not an maximum. Kill Music Princess, Turbodish to 0. Next question. Tuba to 3, maybe. So I like Tubadish and Action both going to something. Either both to 2 or both to 3. To cut down on the ability to just spam action. I don't think you should be allowed to make 2 action in a single turn. I don't know if that's like a popular opinion. But double action in a single turn is so broken. Like, it's so broken. So first things first, we'll remove the stuff that doesn't need to come off. That's fine. Some of this I'm going to have to think about if I still want this stuff hit or changed. Like, does Dragonic Pressure really matter anymore? Probably not. I don't think I care. Action gotta go, man. It's one of the materials weren't locked as a Maddox level up reward. Exactly. It's my opinion. Action is so bullshit. Hero Descent to 3. Ooh. I don't know. Hero Descent to 3 is a really weird... So are you saying Hero's Descent to 3 and leave Elemental Circulation at 3? So you want them to literally have to remove some of those cards from the deck? Because personally, I would like to see Hero Descent put to 3, but I would also like Elemental Circulation moved to 2. Not decent. Descent. There we go. IoT Cadent Aqua player in 8k life points with 3 bosses and field spell because I drew Turbodish. It's kind of nuts. I don't know why Vic Viper is still limit 2. Does that deck have any limit 3 at the moment? Like, is Gradius playing limit 3s? I'm genuinely curious. Well, it would help if someone was playing Gradius first off. There we go. I don't know, let's pick a random deck. So some are playing Overrush Storm. I don't hate the idea of this being put up to 3. That way, you push them off of some of the generics, which I still think the deck is, like, strong. I don't hate that. This is what, Vic Viper beginning? I would maybe do this. I don't hate that idea. Oh, that's the wrong one. Shining Flare Wingman to 3, Storm. I mean, we gotta go this a little bit slower than this. I did find Dragonic Pressure while playing GRF. Shining Flare to 3. Yes, Cirque stays to 3 to conflict. So I like the idea, personally, of moving Cirque down to 2. The problem with that is now I feel like you have to put something else at 2 to limit it down. Because the thing is, I think limit 2 is criminally underused. I think there should be more cards put at limit 2, just to say, just take 1 copy out of the deck. Which I think limit 2 should be used for that more, but it's just not being used for that. I also think Curse should be at 3. I don't think Curse should be at 2. I think Curse should be something that weaker decks are able to use. I would also like Ballet removed. But now, I guess it can flex with Cirque, so that also keeps it off of the deck, so this would kind of work fine. You don't need to come off. I don't care about you as much anymore. You're fine. I also don't really care about you or you. We'll get rid of these for now. Storm, someplace Storm. Shining Flare Wingman and how it's on its own OTKs from max LP is a problem. Either put it limit to conflict with other cards or limit the stuff that makes it easy to summon. I sent you a link. Pokemon Champions linked a 6-minute overview trailer you can watch later if you like. We'll probably end up watching that. In fact, I'll open that now so I don't forget about it. So I do want to watch that at some point. So what are we going to do, guys? We're going to pop this over here. And then we just have to... That's everything I just copy and pasted. Instead of copying the link, it's gone, you know what? We're just going to throw all of that in. And funnily enough, when you search exactly all of these cards, it brings up the Deckmaster Cup from February 22nd. Interesting, interesting. Anyway, a little bit off topic there. No, quiet you. Where were we? Where were we? But hello, Quickwicks. Welcome, welcome. I like it too because I don't want to claim a third with the SR ticket. They were utilizing Limit 2 for a while. They were, but they kind of stopped, right? Lim 2 had more impact before Lim 3 existed. Ever since NS Alistair became a problem and Konami created Lim 3 and Lim 2 became unused. Miracle and Shining to 2. Don't you want to kill my grandpa as well? Maybe. Viper and Curse would conflict. I'm okay with that. I think, in my mind, Curse is one of the best generic cards in the game, if not just the best one. So, I think it should be Limit 3, and then every other good deck should have a Limit 3. And I think, personally, although people might not want to hear it, I think Radius is one of the stronger decks in the game. Now, is it so strong it needs to conflict with Curse? Maybe not. But I don't hate the idea of it conflicting anyway. But like this way, we're like, okay, these guys... Right, we probably don't need Pierce as well, to be honest. I think because we've hit Elemental Circulation, maybe that doesn't matter as much. You have no idea how excited I was to see a Manabu Fusion skill in the leaks. I'm also excited. I just hope it's good. Because again, I really like Noodles. I think Noodles is a really fun deck. I think the deck isn't actually that strong. Not that weak even. I think a lot of people like they shit on Noodles saying it's like one of the worst decks. Like, oh, it's so bad, it's awful. Noodles is actually fine. Like, it's not a bad deck. It's just not a tier 1 super strong deck, right? Pog to 3 is something I've been pondering, like it's always used because it has very little competition. The problem is, I think a lot of people would happily take one copy of something out of their deck so they can play Pog, whereas people won't take like the one of out of their deck. I think if anything, if you want Pog taken out of people's decks, we need to have more things on Limit 1 that are important cards that people have, right? So for example, what you could do, as some people have said, is put Shining Flare Wingman to 1. That way, it directly conflicts a Pot of Greed. And also means you have to only play one Shining Flare. So now you can no longer do a double Shining Flare Wingman play to close out games. And takes Pot of Greed out the deck. I don't mind that sort of change. Now the downside there is, that's kind of the Hero game plan. The reason Hero has such a good matchup into so many decks right now, up to and including Aqua, is because Aqua can boost their life to like 8k, 9k. Heroes will kill them anyway. If you take away one of their Shining Flare Wingmans, Hero now can't do that, which means Aqua now becomes a lot stronger. So in retaliation, I think you have to hit Aqua a little bit, because I think one of the reasons Aqua has fallen down a little bit is because Heroes are really good into it, and Heroes are seeing a bit more play, and Red Eyes is also, I think, quite a good matchup into it. Free beginning? Nah, I get what you mean. I'm gonna make one thing clear. If people hates Noodle, it's your fault. Noodles is actually fine. Then I see my opponent thinking for 2 to 3 minutes as to why he can't fusion. So, if I was allowed to fusion summon as many times as I wanted with Noodles, I think the deck would probably be like top of tier 2. I still don't think it would be a tier 1 deck, but it would definitely be a lot stronger than it is. The question is, does Konami want it to be that? I would like it to be, but I don't know. I will always be harsher towards the things I like because I know that I have a bias towards it. So I always try and stay in the realm of realism, but hi to hello Dark Tudor, welcome. Nani, Shining Flighter 1. Because then people can play NA/Compulse with Pog. Well, let's address that now. If it's limit 3, how does it affect the meta right now? If Pot of Greed went to 3 right now, it conflicts with Battle Ballet instead of conflicting with something else. It conflicts with Overrush Storm, which I don't think anyone's playing at 3 copies. Vocalize Phoenix could no longer use it. You would take it away from specifically heroes. It's already been taken away from here. So all that change would do, really, in terms of like the current meta, is take it away from heroes. That's all it would do. Yamitarasu to 2, so Yami Ruler can actually be played at 3. I play Gavin sometimes, and it's sort of scuffed with both at 3. Yeah, we had that before. We've already got it here. He's already in... I don't know if it's like super easy for you guys to see this. Oh god, what have I done? There we go. There you go. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Hopefully that's a little bit easier to see. But we have got Yamitarasu up here already. Fusion to 1, surely. I'm not sure about that one, bro. Flying Share to 1, what a beautiful world that would be. I hate Aqua. I think a lot of people aren't a big fan of it. That's why I want to put Slime and Scat to 1 too. You want to put Slime to 1? Brother! We need something to stop the onslaught of OTK. We have the ridiculousness that is Red Eyes right now. And you want to go, alright, one of the only cards that can protect us from Red Eyes. Let's hit that. And Scat as well. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Aqua is such a boring deck. They need to give us extras of all the exclusive legends, so we'll have copies to Chronicle. I don't want to ruin the Prismatics. That is fair. The most interesting play it makes is using Abyss Soldier. That's fair. I do, though, like draw spam. So I do quite like the idea of using Cornfall, using the Cure Master? Is that the one? One that draws a card if you have a field spell? I think it's Cure Master. I also like... We can't play it in that deck, but I also really like Fashion of Faith for the same reason, and I really like Shoulder Phone Nian Nian. But again, those aren't usable in that deck, so it's not really the same thing. I think Aqua doesn't need any cards on the list, but instead change the skill a bit, maybe limit the amount of times you can reduce tribute. So I think in terms of skill changes, we'll get to that afterwards. Because I think that's a whole other kettle of fish. So right now, we're going to go under the assumption no skills are going to get changed. And make a list entirely based on that. And then we'll revisit skill changes afterwards. I say, just let's cook some noodles with noodles for noodles. Real. I want the Gaia skill to be reverted back to when it got released. Any hope that the skill will be changed to at least 2 fusion per turn at the ban list? If we're talking about noodles, I think if it went to 2 fusions, you're never going to do 3 fusions. So if it's 2 fusions, it might as well be unlimited. So I don't think it really makes a huge difference there. What if instead of that we keep Music Princess untouched and we unlimit Cattle Healer? Now that's a good idea. Soromir might end up working for Konami. Aqua doesn't even like Pog. They've been playing Avarice since forever. I don't think that's true. Aqua has been playing Talismanic Seal Array, which directly conflicts with Avarice. They've only started playing Avarice since Pot of Greed got hit. And Red Eyes, no way they play 2 fusion spell. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But, right, and this is something that I saw Soromir say first. So I will say, I think Soromir takes credit for this. But I will also shout out that this is something that Hans did put on his list. And that is Vanilla Red Eyes to 1. It's really weird. It's really weird. But this is the most Duel Links ban or hit of all time. Like, tell me that would not be the most, like, Duel Links change of all time. We just see Vanilla Red Eyes limit 1. Bro, Rice was at 1 at the peak of Light Galaxy's dominance. It seems like a Konami move to do. I mean, they could. They absolutely could. I just don't want it. Just run Defusion Trap for Red Eyes Trust. I think the Defusion Trap is actually a little bit better than people give it credit for. That being said, I don't think it's suddenly, like, absolutely incredible or anything like that. So, a better / buffed Matarian skill is fine, but man, underwhelming considering 7's hero, Music Princess, and such. I mean, yeah. Also, where is my shout out? I'm a streamer again. God, this sorry me guy. Fine, we'll give you a shout out. I hope that you actually keep streaming. I've somehow typed it wrong. I even did the double I's, and I think I still spelled it wrong. Isn't Red Eyes already a Limit 1 card? No, it is a legend, which means it is restricted to only play 1 in your deck. But in the same way Pot of Greed is Limit 1, you could Limit 1 directly to have it conflict with other Limit 1 cards. We hit the deck that just released. Also, why cut Pog from all Red Eyes decks like Skull? I mean, Skull isn't really seeing much play anyway. And I think this is a hit that hits the deck in a very, very, very hands-off sort of way, right? This just literally removes Pot of Greed from the deck, and that is it. There is no other hit, right? I think that is fine, personally. Now, you might disagree with that. I think this is a great way to hit a deck that otherwise... Because, right, the way that what we're expecting, right? What we're really, really expecting is Music Princess to get murdered. What could happen is heroes could also get murdered. If that happens, right? So let's go back and take a look at our tier list. Let me hop over. Let me grab the tier list up. Don't stop playing the video. Don't stop playing the video. Right, come over here. Let's get our tier list up. I don't want to hear you. Alright, if we jump over here, we'll just let this do its thing. I'm planning on streaming during the weekends. Nice, that's what we like to see. Limit 1 to meet your chick. Fucking hate that card. I don't think they're going to hit any of the new stuff. Like, straight up. I think they're going to hit... If they hit anything, they'll hit an old card. So, if we expect this to get murdered, and we expect this to get murdered, the meta would just become this. Right? Unless we also address this as well. Like, realistically, this already has a good matchup into this. Which means I think the meta sort of just becomes these two decks. Like, do you just want hyper aggro OTK the meta? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. I think slapping on the wrist is the best way to hit this deck without actually hitting the deck, right? Do you guys think Pot has to be banned? No, no, no. Now, I personally think Pot is a great way to allow weaker decks to have Pot while taking it away from stronger decks, right? If we give all of these 5 a Limit 1, which, again, this already has a Limit 1, this already has a Limit 1. If we just give Limit 1s to these 3, suddenly Pot just becomes like, okay, everything under here gets Pot of Greed. And I think that is a great way to balance the game, personally. But, again, you might disagree. Music are going to get taken out back, 1 between the eyes, and then they're going to walk back in with new cards and a new skill. I mean, that could absolutely happen, but how long is it going to take for that to happen? That's the question. I should say I have zero clue about Rush tournaments. I hit Cog and Dip. I mean, that's fair. I mean, at the very least, that gives you an opinion about how the ladder performance is, right? I'm feeling like a Persona with like 5 Royals. Wait a minute. I see that. I see that reference. I mean, hyper aggro OTK the meta feels like what we already have. I mean, kind of. But like, hero tends to not go hyper aggro until they've got the combo, right? It's like, stall until we get the combo, win the game, right? You're playing like control until you like pull the trigger and end the game. Aqua is, again, is kind of, I don't know if I would say it's like a control deck, but like, you can slow the pace of the game down. And then you kind of just like summon out 3 bunguses and keep slapping in until your opponent runs out of gas. Or like, they'll go for the aggression on you and then you'll clap back. This is actually just an OTK deck. This is most of the time an OTK deck. And Music Princess is sort of like, it's sort of mid-range. It kind of does everything. You can play the slower game. You can play the control game. You can also just play the OTK game. It kind of does a little bit of everything. And I guess you could make an argument that like all 3 of these kind of do that. I think the worst deck on the defense is probably the high-tech dragons. But, like, with that in mind, it comes down to, like, would you put a high-tech card back to Limit 1? Like, would you just put the Fusion Enhanced Red Boot and put it on Limit 1 again? Just to take Pot of Greed out. I don't know if that's necessary. I don't think it is. But it would be the card to hit if you were. Do we cut Pot from high-tech again? Exactly my thoughts. The actual good high-tech plays more like a control deck, which I'm fine with, but it still has a bad matchup into Red Eyes, so it'd just be Red Eyes. Exactly, which is why I think just taking away Pot of Greed from them it's a good enough hit, but realistically, because the other thing is, I think Red Eyes, right, look at it from Konami's perspective. I think Red Eyes would be a good deck to have at Worlds. The downside there is, would they keep it around, like, unnerfed, all the way to Worlds? Because, right, it's a nostalgia bait deck. The deck plays at, like, a good pace. It's not, like, a slow deck. I don't know. I feel like it's got all the Worlds energy that Konami like to see from a deck. Music Princess is OTK, to be honest. Piercing, buff, and debuff. The thing is, you're right, but that deck can also play a control game. And it can also do whatever the hell else it wants, because that deck just gets to do everything. That's why Music Princess is so strong, because it just does everything. It'd be mad funny, though. Oh, for sure. What were the oldest decks that we got in the last Worlds? Oh, boy. This feels like a rabbit hole. All right, articles. World? World Championship 2025. Rush. All right, let's have a look. So let's take a look at the top two players. So we had Spellcasters. This came out in the May before the World Championship, right? Yes. Baseball was quite fresh. Light Galaxy was also May before the World Championship. I don't remember when High Tech came out. Elemental Hero is probably the oldest. It had to be E-Hero, right? E-Hero had to be the oldest deck, surely. Surely. They'd 100% love to see Red Eyes at Worlds. I bet Meteor Red Eyes is the deck they want to have at Worlds. Probably that is why they won't touch it. But that's what I mean. I think this is like a small enough hit that it will impact the deck, but also isn't going to matter too much in the long run. So these don't really matter anymore. What is still limited? Because Dynamix isn't limited anymore. Shining City Knights isn't limited anymore. We got that one. We got that one. Is Battle Tested Gaia still limited? It is. 1,000 Knives is. Mismatched Rivalry is. Yeah. Void Corridor. Void Corridor got unhit. Rice Terrace got unhit. And Clyde. Is Clyde still hit? Is Clyde not hit anymore? Or am I stupid? I don't play this deck anymore. This is the fundamental biggest issue. Clyde is free! Excellent. High Tech was the first or second deck build box after Go Rush, I think. I wouldn't mind seeing Music Princess gone. Those fusions are just not fun to go against. That's my thoughts exactly. I don't even think... I would be happy if they got hit enough that they just dropped down a few tiers. I don't need them, like, gone. But I would like them to not be the best deck in the game, right? No, Hero came right after Light Galaxy and Spellcasters. They were the oldest. Hero came out just before Go Rush came out. That's when we got the skill. That's when we got their first wave of support. We got a second wave of support for heroes that gave us Burst, Shining Flare, and something else. So I guess then it comes down to, like, because it's using the same old skill, do we count as the same deck? Because the archetype is the same, do we count as the same deck? Or do we only count it as the new version of the deck from when it got Shining Flare? I got hit by Rice Terrace Crisis exactly once during my GRF run, and we all lost our shit. Oh god. Important note on Hero is that the wave of Shining Flare and Cirque was right after Light Galaxy and Caster Duck. Okay, there you go then. So then it comes down to, like, do we count that, right? Ban that card again. Wasn't Shining released before Worlds? Hero got 3 waves, basically, lol. Clayman and Sparkman also came with Shining Flare. Yes, that is correct. That is correct. I still remember playing, like, the original Hero version. And then there was, like, Gaia Hero as well. Wow, never forget, never forget. So, these changes. Shining Flare to 1 is huge. Like, that's actually huge. Does Elemental Circulation need to go to 2? So the reason to put this to 2, 1 hurts heroes a little bit. Because, let's be honest, guys. If you're playing against Hero, and they resolve Pot of Greed, and then 3 copies of Elemental Circulation, it never feels fun, does it? It never feels great. So part of me is like, we should hit Circulation. I also do like the thought of hitting Ballet as well. Personally, I still like all of this. Did the Neos Hero deck not make any impact? So Neos is like... I think the best thing to compare Neos to is Noodles. Which is, the deck is fine. The deck is arguably, like, not bad. It's arguably decent. But why would you play it over the other decks above it? Right? There just wasn't really a reason to. It didn't do anything unique or anything super special that the decks above it didn't do, but, like, a bit easier. So, like, it was fine. But, like... did you say once that the hero skill was too weak? Look, as it's still going now. The hero skill in a vacuum is still quite bad. Right? Let's not pretend that the hero skill is suddenly, like, really, really good. The hero skill's absolute best feature is that it actually makes room, which ends up being a positive. Whereas, like, it's a +0 still. That skill is a +0. It's carried by the quality of the cards in the deck, right? Which is absolutely crazy. But the skill does everything you, like, need it to do. So it works out being pretty good. Cirque to 2 is something to keep Neos alive, because you have Descent to 3. Exactly. I mean, the logic is, if I'm not putting Circulation to 2, I probably don't hit Descent. I just want this deck to keep having a limit 3. To cut things like Curse out. To cut things like, the other one out. What's it called? Overrush Storm. I like the Turbodish action hit, because, again, this puts you on, like, 2 Turbodish 1 action. I think that would be the most common ratio, or Turbodish. And I think the main idea there is I don't want to get double actioned. If you want to action me again, use something to recycle it. That's the logic with that. This would, however, mean that Music Princess would have a limit 2, limit 3s, and a limit 1, which would be quite funny. Can Cornfall goes to 2? Do we need Cornfall to 2? Maybe. I think if we did Cornfall to 2, I would still want them to have a limit 3. So I would put, like, Nuvia to 3. Let's put this on the list for now. So Cornfall, Charity, and then Nuvia the Mischief? I think it's Mischief Maker? Or just Nuvia we know what Nuvia is. We could have just written Nuvia, really. And that's not how you spell Cornfall, that's Kernfall. Do we hit Aqua or High Tech? High Tech is the big question mark. I don't mind hitting Aqua. Do we need to hit High Tech? I think I would like it to. So since this is my wish list. You know what? Red Boot and Hearts Burst Dragon, you can go back to limit 1 on my wish list. Again, don't forget, this is my wish list, not the predictions. This is just everything I want to see. So, for me, yeah. Go back to not having Pot of Greed, you jerks. That's fine. Music Princess could be Russia's Shiranui. As someone just used it 3 times in a turn against me, so yes. A high-tech should be hit by giving the deck 3 copies of Lightwave Dragon. I'm not sure that's the best way to try and, like, nerf the deck. Saying that, I don't think we're going to get a list this big, right? I think we're probably going to get, like, 4 hits, maybe. I think it's going to be a very small list. They don't like doing big lists, unless there's, like, something really, really problematic. So... personally, I think this is fine. If we go back to the tier list again, we've hit this heavily. We've given this a tap on the wrist. We've hit this heavily. We've hit this kind of heavily. Which means now the meta becomes this is the obvious best deck. This is around and like still quite good. These two get to rise a little bit. This is still basically unplayable because this exists. So it's like why would you? Maybe Join Tech can, like, slip back in? Maybe there's a world? Best wishlist. I also do not want Pog access to high tech. What if we get nothing except 1,000 Knives at 2? I mean, I still want 1,000 Knives unhit. Like, it's still over here. It's still in my list of just unhit it. I would love that personally, but... Hello, Tomato. Any chance that Noodles receive a skill buff? I want to get that deck, but it's not good. Not in a good spot for now. Again, I will keep defending this as many times as I need to. Noodle is fine. Noodle is in a fine spot. It's just... it's a solid high rogue deck. It is a solid high rogue deck. The deck is, like, not bad. If you're like, oh, it's not tiered, therefore I don't want to play it, I think that is absolutely justified. But people talk about it like it's, like, dog shit tier. Like, it's completely garbage. And I'm like, no, that deck is fine. It's okay. Dwan got to top 100 with it. It's been doing okay in some tournaments. It's made top 4 a couple of times. The deck is okay. But yeah, I don't know. It's still kind of new. I don't know if they would buff a skill this soon, but there's always a chance, right? Never say never. Music Princess has lived through several banlists. It's most likely going to hit hard at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's why, again, I want to see these. Turbidisc in action. Ballet, because again, just get a copy of Ballet out of there. We keep circulation with it so that, you know, you can't just play both still. And then they already have a limit 1, so they're already taught all of that. Put Red Eyes to limit 3. I do not want Red Eyes limit 3. I do not see a point in putting Red Eyes to limit 3. If you put Red Eyes to limit 3, all you're doing is removing 1 copy of the fusion, which severely hurts the deck. Which, again, I don't think Konami wants to severely hurt the deck. Straight up. Or, you remove the Red Eyes, which also hurts the deck, because now you've got 1 less skill target, as well as... well, it's a skill target, as well as a way to activate the skill, as well as a way to go into your fusions, and you'd also probably want to cut Secret Order if you did that as well. I personally don't like Red Eyes to 3. Just free my boy Yami Rule already? I mean, Yami Tarasu to 2, I think, would sort of do that. Matari Mirai, once people remember Type Change Beam, got unhit, not cope. People have... so there was one Matarian player that I think did end in top 100. And I think he actually ended quite highly, like top 20 or top 30 or something. So when that list comes out, maybe we'll get to see what he was cooking. How many spots did it get in the Goha Cup? So consistently it held 2 spots. By the end, sort of none. You could make the argument for 1. I think both the people that were playing Noodles and got into top 100 ended up swapping to a different deck. But again, the reason to not play Noodles is because Red Eyes is just Noodles but better. This is just the same deck but better. So like, if you want to play Noodle, just play Red Eyes. No tomatoes allowed. Hello, Cyclone. Welcome. Do you think we will get a structure deck at some point soon? If so, what do you hope we get? Oh, structures are a weird one. We could get a main character structure in May, in the same way that we got a main character structure in... where was it? This one. The last structure deck we got was the Yuga structure deck, which gave us the Seven's Road stuff. So we could get like a Light Galaxy structure in May. I think that could work. Red is not noodles but better. It's noodles but less delicious. I mean, a Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon could be delicious. You never know. Hi, Mr. Tomato. Hello, Louise. Welcome, welcome. With the new skill rebalancing, I bet my butt they are releasing the new maid support next month. Well, it's curious you say that because we did just get a list of database changes, and we did see in there Dragon Maid Kembra. So you never know. Now this isn't guaranteed, but you never know. You never know. Already talk about the Monobu fusions. Yes, we have already spoken about that. May, like Galaxy. There you go. There you go. A human Portuguese dub fan on the same wavelength. Shit, Mega Meganium, Embor, and Feraligatr have gotten new abilities for Pokemon Champions. Oh, damn. We have a video ready to watch. We will be watching that when we're done with this. Uran Structure, Random Earth Monsters, and Lab Wall. Let's go. That will be wild. They're actually good. 7 Skiers Trust. The fusion looks strong, but use 5 cards to make just 1 fusion. The thing is, it's never going to be 5 cards, right? Because you're always going to summon out a way to cheat out your boss. So either an Ember, or you're going to use the... Which, again, you can search. Or you're going to use the Legend. So it'll be 1, then Salamander, then Fusion, then the Fusion Material Ember. So it's only a 4-card investment. Which, let's be honest, it's not much better. But it's a bit better. But yeah, we've already talked about it. We've already gone through all of it at length. 7 Gears. No. Looks bad. We will never know. To be honest, a Luke Dragon Metarian for Uamu Dragon Structure would be cool. Since they have a lot plus sort of scattered. I doubt we're going to get that soon. The reason being, we've only had 1 structure deck in the last year. So I think they're going to just release 1 structure deck, and I think they're going to follow suit and make it a Light Galaxy one. I would like us to get more structures, but we're just not getting them, right? Are we done with Banlist? Want to grab a glass of water? I mean, we're not done with it yet. I mean, we might be done with it in the sense that we might not put anything else on it. I mean, is there anything else that needs to be buffed or nerfed here? We've buffed Gradius, which means we buffed both of these. We've nerfed this, we've nerfed this, we've nerfed this, we've nerfed this, and we've nerfed this. Is there anything we could do down here to buff any of this stuff? Like, again, without changing skills, without giving them new cards. Is there anything we can free from the ban list to buff any of these other decks? Because I don't think so. I don't know why Gaia Conqueror of Champions is still here, to be honest. It's very strange. Vegetable deck builds, which are meant to make decks. Exactly. Rush don't give enough money for Konami. Actually, I can imagine Luke support for the qualifier box plus the alt style. I could. I just don't think it'll be in the form of a deck. I think it'll be... If they do that, it'll be in the box, personally. But you never really know. I mean, none of this needs to get hit, really. I think the rest of everything else is probably fine. So, like, this is my wish list, I think. I think this is it. I think this is everything for my wish list. Rock type in the corner, seeing other type get buffed. I mean, rock type in Duel Links is just kind of Magnet Warriors. Maybe a little buff for Psychic Fusion skill and free the bear. I mean, we've already got the bear here, so like we're fine there. Again, this list is assuming there is no skill changes. That is what this list is. Because again, when you throw skills in it, like skill changes, it makes everything like a bit awkward. Woolly Wonderland Unlimit for sure. Nah, we can leave that one here. That one has to stay. I'm interested to see how Psychic Fusion would fit into the current meta. I mean, you can play it now. Like, unlimiting Ice Pot Bear doesn't suddenly mean that deck becomes, like, crazy strong. Like, not a lot actually changes. So, like, realistically, it's just not going to be super great. I doubt Check would be unhit. I think leaving Check at limit 3 is probably fine. I don't think you need to, like, completely free that card. But, like, it wouldn't be clashing with anything except generics, right? So it would be clashing with Curse. Because I still want to see Curse get hit. I think this is still the best generic card in the game. I mean, we can talk about skills, if you want. Which skills would we want to see buffed? Bear in mind, I don't think we're going to see any skills buffed. Like, straight up. I just do not think that's going to happen. But if we were to see skills buffed... I mean, sure. Psychic fusion skill. Noodles. We'd love to see a noodle buff skill. I mean, Gradius would be cool. Obviously, by extension, the X-Cutie skill could do with a buff. Would we buff Black Skull Dragon skill? Is that something that needs a buff? Maybe. Roman Psychics / sounds fun but air. Just free all psychic cards, trust, it will be fine. That's the problem with this game. Don't have to... more good limb to 3. There are a lot of skills we want to see buffed. A need for Music Princess skill. And Aqua skill buff for Noodles Gradius. Sidra again. That's the point. I would like to see the Sidra skill buffed. Black Skull. I don't know if the Black Skull needs a buff, but I'll put it in. I'll put it in for now. We'll put it on the list. Alright, first off, these are just changes. So let's fix this. Let's go skill buffs. So we'll do you. We'll do you. And then if we were going to nerf ones, it would be MP. It would be obviously Red Eyes, Meteor. If we were going to nerf anything, probably don't need to hit heroes, to be honest. I don't think that skill needs enough. I don't even think the Red Eye skill needs enough. Aqua. Is there anything else we'd nerf the skill on? Probably not. Someone got top 100 on V-Friends. Konami gave put Psychics in jail again. Did we actually see that list come out? Because I saw that there was a Psychic player that was in top 100. I never knew what list they were playing. I assumed it was V-Friends, but I didn't know it was V-Friends, right? They could buff Worms, let them tribute with one monster. I mean, again, we're getting into the realm of, like, why would they buff these skills unless they're releasing something new for them? It's like, I could see them buffing Worms if they released a Worm card or two in the next deck build box, right? It was top 30 even. I saw it was top for a bit, and then it dropped down to like 40, and then I saw it down at 60. I don't know where it ended. The skill could search the 0 attack material for Dark Galaxy. Dark Galaxy is a really weird one, though. So there's a couple of things. First off, Dark Galaxy is right on the fringe of being unbelievably good. So, like, if we give it just a little bit of extra consistency, that deck could be kind of crazy. Second, there are so many more Dark Galaxy cards yet to come. I think we're going to get another wave of Dark Galaxy sooner than later. We could even get it in May, right? And when we get another wave of Dark Galaxy, they'll give us a new skill, which means the old skill will become irrelevant. So I don't know if we're going to get a Dark Galaxy buff. In the same, again, I don't think we're going to get a Worm skill buff, but... Hydro Candies before Konami cops find her. I'm pretty sure on the list. Meteor doesn't need a skill nerf. It's totally fine. They can search 1 of 3 card and only 1 card per duel. While the other decks search 2 and then do even more. Yeah, but the difference is one of these decks has really high card quality and the other ones don't necessarily. Aqua's card quality is kind of mid, which is why if they didn't have their skill, this deck becomes absolute garbage. I think even if you take away, if you play like one of the mono no skill tournaments, the Red Eyes deck would probably do okay, but Aqua would be shit, right? Music Princess is in a weird spot where, like, it sort of has card quality. Because, like, Ballet is busted, right? Like, Tubadish is busted. Some of the fusions are busted, but, like, the issue the deck's always had is getting out those boss monsters. Aqua needs Nurse. So, it's a compounding issue, right? Aqua is still one of the best performing decks, straight up. No matter what you say, it is one of the best performing decks. And it's currently at the worst it's been in a while because it has a bad matchup into Red Eyes and Hero. We're hitting Red Eyes and we're hitting Hero with this list. So if we're hitting the decks that keep it in check, that means it will just rise to being one of the best decks again. So we're preemptively saying we should hit it, so that when we hit the decks that beat it, it doesn't just become the best deck. Then again, I think because Red Eyes is still going to be around, it's still going to keep Aqua down anyway, but still. That is the logic. Maybe we get a Blue Eyes skill buff. There is literally no reason to buff the Blue Eyes skill. The Blue Eyes skill is garbage. It's not going to suddenly become good with a buff unless we like completely gave it an overhaul. Realistically, we're going to wait until we get more Blue Eyes support, and then we're going to get a new skill. That's just how I see that going. But again, I'm not sure we're going to see any of this happen at all. I would like to see all of this. But it's so hard to predict skill changes, whereas it's quite a lot easier to predict Banlist changes. Imagine we just get a free list. That would be wild. I personally, I think this is good, though. Is there anything on here that's really bad? This takes away the double Shining Flare Wingman play, and it takes away Pot of Greed. This cuts one circulation out of the deck. Hero Descent means that we cut things like Curse out of the deck in case they were playing that, which they weren't really, but keeping limit 3 in all the best decks. Turbination Action, this is quite a heavy hit, but I think this is a necessary hit to Music Princess. Red Boot Enhanced Burst, this is just to take Pot of Greed away from that deck again, and again, this is because if we're nerfing everything above this deck, I don't want this deck to suddenly become just the best deck in the game again, so please stay down, Red Boot Enhanced. Ballet, again, move to 2, just to cut a copy of Ballet out of the deck. Elemental Circulation put to 2 as well, so once again, you cannot use both of these cards together. Cornful Charity down to 2 is just to cut one copy out the deck. There's no other reason. We just get one copy of this out. Too much consistency. Curse to 3, best generic. Vic Viper to 3 just keeps it off of Curse, and that's because I think this becomes like the next best deck. I think this is fine. I like this. Harpy, time for more Harpy cards and a usable skill. Or not. Or we just don't do that. That's fine as well. I think that would be okay as well. I think this is fine. I think this is what I like. I like this. Alright, guys, is there anything on this? I'm going to get the chat proofread. Is there anything on here that is you think is radically in the wrong place? Something that should be here that isn't? Something that needs to be changed? Because I'm quite content with this, but I want to know what you guys think. No red boot nerfs, please. I mean, to be fair, this is the lightest slap on the wrist of all time. It's reverting what they already had, and that deck was already fine before. Music Princess looks will die, but it is okay if the deck been good in the meta for a long time. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I think this puts Music Princess to, like, high rogue or straight up rogue. I think that's what this list plans to do. Ice Pop Bear Unlimited. Right there. He's right there. He's already on the list. Don't take my pog, please. I don't know, Jay Strong. You've been piloting this deck to too many tournament wins lately. We have to take it away from you. More unhits, probably. From hits looks fine. What unhits would you even want, though? Sword and Shield? And we could unhit that. Burst Stream of Destruction? We could unhit that. Graveyard Grudge has to stay. This card would break the meta if it ever came off this list. It must stay here forever. Part of me is like, we keep King's Majesty and Call of the Earthbound here. I don't think these need to come off. I like Negate Attack being at 1. Does Grand Extreme matter? Do we care about... Does Grand Extreme do anything? Guys, I think we can let Grand Extreme off. What can Konami actually do? 1 Music Princess card to limit 1. 2 to 3 unlimits and skill changes. Non-existent buff. I mean, they absolutely could. It's really hard to predict what they're going to do. I think this ban list is going to be a soft one and will have more unlimits than hits. I personally want to see decks that have been around for way too long get a hit. And for me, those decks are Music Princess and Heroes. Now, I like both those decks. If you would have asked me, what are my 2 best decks right now? What have I got the most practice on? What decks do I know the best through and through? It is Elemental Hero and Music Princess. I still think they should get hit. Music Princess can work with 1 action. Oh yeah, but that's why, again, we've taken them down to... They'd also lose a Turbadish, and they'd also lose a Ballet. Right? It's okay, Tomato. We need nerf everything strong in this game for Monobo Fusions to have a chance in this game. Exactly! This is the only way! Once we get the Daedalus, Goha Brother, and Phaser Grand Extreme banned. I like Grand Extreme. And also, if Grand Extreme exists, we then have less of a reason to keep putting in skills that give monsters a discount on the tributes, right? So I kind of like that. Santa is stuck in prison now. He's never allowed out. Yeah, I think I like this. I think I like this. This is, I like, me likey, me likey. Now, chances are we get a limit list announced, what? Is it usually 3 days after the GRF results come in? Or is it 3 days after the GRF ends? I'm really bad at remembering this sort of thing. Let's jump over here. Let's have a look. If we go to articles. December 18th. Was that right after a GRF? I think this was after a GRF, right? March, December. Okay, so... this came out on the 18th. When did it end? Oh, that's not actually going to help me. Alright, click over to here. Alright, what was the end date of it? It went until March 16th. And then we got this list on the 18th. So that means we could see a list as early as tomorrow, right? I mean, it might still be very strong. This is just cutting a ballet and a tuba. Well, we're also cutting 2 action as well, to be fair. So that does limit the power of the deck a little bit, because one of their most common plays was double action. Thunder Gazelle can also be free. At least maximum can run it, Kappa. No! Thunder Gazelle must always remain limited. He's one of the memes. You lost a good change to make lethal with just 1 fusion. Usually 1 day after we get the results. That's true, but still, thinking there, adding the Maxi Fusion first, or the Salamander plus the 3 Crowbar ones. I mean, we've already talked about this, but we're expecting Alchemicalized Salamandra and Graphicus, because this skill locks us into only Fire Pyro, which means we can't use the maximum in this deck. Fuse into action and Ballet into Divine Breath or something. I mean, yeah, you can absolutely do that. Doubt Music Princess still going to win tournaments after this? I mean, there's always a chance, right? That says December. Did I get that wrong? Are these not both December? December. Yeah. So this event went on. So this was posted on December 18th. And this said that the event ended on... oh, you're right. No, this is... this was way before... wait, is this right? This was posted in December. But it wasn't announced like 3 months beforehand, right? Is this just wrong? Is this just like a... like a small error on the website? Good morning! Will Pyro finally be meta this time? Hello, Hans! I mean, I hope so, but I'm not feeling confident. We also did mention you, Hans, as well, by the way. We looked at this earlier. Which I'll chuck this in the chat as well, in case anyone wants to go and follow Hans and check out his baller Banlist takes. Regardless, I'm happy Pyro is catching up with the times. I mean, somewhat. The other Chroma Fusions are also Pyro Fire, or are they Thunder Aqua? They're Thunder and Aqua. And they're made using Thunder and Aquas. Circulation to 1. Let's actually compare this. Let's compare this to ours, because we haven't done that yet. So, for us, we're saying Limit 1, Shining Flare, Red Boot, and Red Eyes and Red Boot. That is our Limit 1s. So, Hans also has this as Limit 1. Ooh. That's a spicy Limit 1. If we put Abyss Soldier to 1, that just removes it from the deck. Like, straight up. You're just not allowed to play Abyss Soldier. I don't know if I like that. I also don't like Pot of Greed banned. I don't think that needs to happen. For me, I like Pot of Greed being the limiter. I have to check the VOD. Thanks for the shout out. Hello, Baz, as well. Welcome, welcome. I mean, we have some other ban lists to look at as well. Oh, Horn Knives to 2 is an interesting one. So again, our 2s were Ballet. We wanted Ballet to 2 and then Circulation to 2. So we're hitting the same cards, just in a different way. Obviously, we're not hitting Horn Knives. Oh, I didn't think about these, actually. Does Hero need? No, I guess this is kind of the same thing. So you've put Argent to 3. We've put Hero Descent to 3. Which is basically just keeping them on a limit 3. That's all that does. Which is fine. I don't think it really matters which one we put to limit 3. And then Unlimited, there's loads of stuff here. We've put Yami Tarasu to 2. That's where we've put it. Just because I think it's funny. I'm so ready, to be honest. 9k gems. Oh, yeah. What changed for Music Princess this list? Let's go and take a look. So, Music Princess. This goes down to 2. This goes to... So, that you cut this out of the deck. Which is... Like, that is a hit. But this is a very, very light hit, I feel, the Music Princess. Like, very, very light. I guess you could make the argument our list is very, very heavy. I don't like the idea of unhitting Call of the Earthbound. But that might just be me. I want to keep all the meta decks alive to keep a diverse format until World Box. Reduce a bit of the sackiness. I mean, that's fair. That is a fair opinion. I wanted to do the Madabu Maxi, but Maxi decks just don't work for me. They don't work for a lot of people, to be fair. Please kill Music Princess. I'm getting a headache. You just lose trade and get healer. Well, you lose 1 copy of Horn Knives as well, which, like, is something. I don't know how I feel about Heal Healer. I haven't really talked about it much. Skill buffs. I don't dislike these. Because again, we did talk about skill buffing as well. I don't know if they're going to skill buff so quickly. I mean, they might. What did they do in the last one that we looked at? Was it this one? Did they change any skills here? So they buffed Cyber Dragon and Gear Star F. Which were like 2 kind of old skills. They weren't revisited. I suppose we'll also check out the other lists as well. So there was this list by Ra. I'll go ahead and post this as well, in case anyone wants to check out Ra's list. So this is ban. Wait, is this ban? I don't know what these mean. Is this limit 3? This is limit 1? This is ban? Is this unlimit? And this is limit 1? I'm trying to work out what this is. It's not explained, so... I'm really struggling here. Any predictions besides Tube? I don't know what Tubal is as well. Obviously, that's been translated in a weird way. These are probably all limit 3s. That makes sense. This could be limit 1. That makes sense. I don't know what this means. Yame ban Lamau. Japan hates Yami Ruler, I think. Pot tier S. Pot is tier S. Lol, Yami Ruler Floodgate, my bro, a bit too much. I mean, potentially. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that long ago that the Yami Ruler Floodgate deck was actually doing really well. Like, it wasn't like a crazy strong deck, but it was specifically designed to beat the top decks, and it was really good at doing that. It's just, as soon as circulation got hit, so many of these, like, Floodgate decks just died. I think it means how likely it is then to get hit or unhit. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see that. The other one we should talk about, especially since Milanesso is here, was this. So this is from Milanesso's stream. I just want to take a look at his list as well. So, Milanesso had Limit 1, Limit 1. So this, again, removes Abyss Soldier from the Aqua deck entirely. I don't even know what Abyss Soldier does at that point. It just becomes an XQT card. This removes Pot of Greed from Heroes, which I think is fine. We've done the same thing. We've got to take it away. This Limit 3... Ooh, Trombo Limit 3. I don't hate that. I think I'd still rather hit 2 Badish, but I don't hate Trombo Limit 3 as well. With this version of this list, that basically means... What do you even play? How would you build this anymore? Like, 2 Ballet, 1 Turbadish, 0 Trombo, or 3 Ballet, 0, 0 of the other 2? Milanesso ban equals kill all decks. Delete skills through game. The other thing is, I can't read what this says on the side. I'm going to assume that this is only twice per duel. Take away the ability to get a discount on tributes. Pick 1 card? I have no idea. I don't know what this is. Only activate on turn 2? So you can't do this turn 1 or something? And this, I assume, is you only get to search 1 card from the deck, and you lose the discount on the bosses. I assume that's what that is. Why kill Aqua, by the way? It did less than Hero and Red Eyes. So the logic is, one of the reasons Aqua has been underperforming is because Heroes is a big reason to keep Aqua down, right? Hero is one of the decks that has such a good win rate into Aqua that you can just run into it and destroy it. A double Shining Flare Wingman play absolutely wrecks Aqua, and they just basically have to have a trap or they die. So if we're hitting Shining Flare, or specifically Hero, that means we have to hit Aqua as well, or else Aqua's just going to rise up and be a top deck again. And I don't want Aqua to be a top deck. Hero nerf is turn 2 onwards. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was. That is what I thought it was. This is a joke. I hit Aqua more than every other deck in the game. I don't think it is that bad. I don't think any of the lists we've looked at have. The only one that I'm like a bit question mark on is this one. I think both Hans's list and Milanesso's list aren't like bad lists by any stretch. I think these are both fine. I think, though, they're all trying to do something completely different. Hans's list, very deliberately, is trying to give decks a slap on the wrist to try and bring them down a little bit without murdering them. Because he knows we're not going to get anything substantial for another 2 months, right? That is the logic behind this list. With that framework in place, this makes a lot of sense. Milanesso's deck, you can clearly tell the objective is to hit the strongest decks currently that are not brand new, because we almost never hit brand new decks. So we are hitting Aqua, which is one of the strongest decks, Hero, which is one of the strongest decks, and Music Princess, which is one of the strongest decks. So, like, this makes sense to me. Now, if you agree with the list or not, that's a whole other question. Aqua nerf is 2 tributes, add 1 card, Music Princess nerf 2 tributes, send back card, twice per duel. That's a that is a very heavy list. Music Princess, with these changes, is already hit so hard. And then to also take away the tribute discount, and also make it only twice, and also make it not plus, that is so many nerfs on 1 skill. I just wanted circulation to 1, because screw draw 3 into pot. Hello, Shui. We'll do an exclamation mark. Shui in the chat. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like, it is annoying. It absolutely is. I think circulation to 2 works, but I could see it going to 1 as well. I don't like banning cards, especially Pog, because it is absolutely necessary. I'm in a similar boat. I think the best way to use Pog is to take away Pog from the best decks. And I think the best way to do that is the way we've done it with Aqua, which is you give them one of their cards. The deck doesn't work without the field spell, so they have to play it. It's limit 1. You can't play Pog. Done, right? That's the way to use Pog. So my logic is give everyone limit 1s that take Pog away from them. Or at least, at the very least, if you want to play it, you have to give up something else. Now, you could make the argument that Music Princess's limit 1 isn't vital enough because some lists are still playing Pot of Greed instead of Straight Pierce. But there isn't really another card you could hit there, at least not in my opinion. Milanesso wants Red Eyes versus Hero format. I mean, this does still just nerf heroes. Like, this still does nerf hero. Not super hard, but it still does nerf it. The craziest thing is watching heroes draw their entire deck in 1 to 2 turns. Yes! I mean, it's a combo deck, right? The entire point of heroes is to just go dig, wipe my opponent's back row, ideally with Burst, go into double Shining Flare OTK. If you can't do that, do the closest you can to that. That is the entire deck. To be honest, the 1 tribute thing should stay and be put in certain other skills that rely heavily on level 7s. I somewhat agree. I think if you're playing a dogshit deck from 7s and you don't get modern support, absolutely I like the idea of getting discounts on the summons. The downside is when you're playing modern support like Ballet, like Tubadish, like Action, you've got all of these like really good, strong modern cards and you also get a discount on your bosses. That's where I'm like, maybe this is a little bit too good. I want to remove Pog from the game instead of removing Pog access from the best decks every format. The thing is, what I would like to do is allow the lower tiered decks to have access to Pog. That's how you balance it, right? These decks don't get Pog. These decks do get Pog. In my mind, that lets these decks jump up a bit, right? And then, you know, if these decks become too strong or whatever reason, you just give them a limit 1, take Pog away from them. Let the next ones rotate in. I like that, personally. After we nerf everything in the game, Manabu will be tier 0. If we just nerf all of this, like if we just nerf everything that's high Rogan up, I know you can't see it at the moment, we just nerf everything high Rogan up, we could absolutely do it. The other changes on the Milanesso list look okay, but the Aqua stuff is just let's kill the deck completely. I don't think that's true. I think this is definitely, I mean, maybe this skill changes a bit much. I don't think this to 1 and this to 3 like kills Aqua. I think it's very heavy-handed, but I don't think it kills the decks like straight up. All right. With that done, before we like decide to round up the whole thing, because I like all these lists. I don't think any of these lists are like bad. I think, especially like when the people like have worked hard to make these lists, I think it's really kind of, I don't want to say rude, but it is not very mild-mannered to like insult something that someone's worked on. Now you can disagree with it, you can criticize it, but I wouldn't just like straight up just call it bad. That's my own personal thing. But maybe it's because I'm very British and that's just how we do things here. The other changes to the Milanesso list look okay. Who cares about Aqua? I don't know. I feel Pot is a necessary evil. Bricking on even a 5-card draw still happens way too often. I mean, I'm personally just waiting for Graceful Charity, personally. The skill literally says you can search a single card 2 times per duel. That's it. Everything else is gone. In addition, they out a limit 1 and a limit 3 to the deck. Overkill. Doesn't this do nothing to Music Princess? Are you talking about this list here? Because this list puts Turbadish in action to limit 3. That means you lose 2 action and 1 Tubadish. So that's already 1 Tubadish out the deck, and you can no longer do a double action play. We also have put Ballet to 2, so we've removed 1 Ballet from the deck. So that's another card removed straight up. Yeah, that's it. That's all we've done. We've taken out a Turbadish, we've taken out a Ballet, and action is now at 1 copy. I think this is like, it doesn't like completely kill the deck, but I think this is a substantial hit. Obviously, you still can't play Cirque. And also it takes Curse out the deck, but I don't know if that really matters. I don't know how many Music Princes are actually playing it. But hello, Grand. Welcome, welcome. Lots of exclamation mark Grand as well. Everyone else keeps asking for shout-outs. We're going to give the shout-outs where we see them. But I like this personally. This is what I would like to see. What do I actually think is going to happen? I think Hero's going to get a hit. It'll be either Shining Flare or it'll be Miracle Fusion. I don't think they'll hit both. I think they are probably not going to mess around with a lot of this. I think they will probably throw something silly in. Like, I could see them doing, like, Tubadish and Action to 2. That way you remove 2 copies of each card. So now it just becomes 1 Turbadish, 1 Action. And then that's it. I could see them just doing that. And that just being the list. Did you suggest an Execute skill buff? What would it be? So we have got it down here. So my idea for an Execute skill buff is you'd basically keep it exactly as it is, but you would then add an activate on it, which is like reveal a level 6 monster with 500 defense in your hand, then search your deck for a level 6 monster with 500 defense, add it to your hand. And then if we think that would be too good for whatever Konami, then also shuffle back any card from your hand. But I think the +1 will probably be fine. I think that would actually make this a playable deck. That would bump this up to like tier 3, tier 2 for sure, I think. Curse looks more a matter of taste. I think, personally, Curse is the best generic card in the game. I don't even think you can argue that. And the whole point of the Limit 3 list is to put good generic cards on it. So, like, why not have the best generic card as Limit 3? Hit skill smile. Also, why do they randomly add some Rush Vanilla fish types to the vendor? We don't ask those kind of questions here. We just accept that Konami like to just put random crap in random places. It's hard to predict what they would actually do. They are super inconsistent with Rush Banlist. Yes. Yes, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. Easy to add a clause that yellow goes to +1 and then can work. I mean, that's what I like as well, personally. I remember when they hit Dark Fusion Galaxy harder than Light Galaxy Fusion, or when Tier 0 Gaia / Psychic just got slight hits rather than post-GRF hits. Yeah. I stand by Psychic was fine. Psychic was like the best deck in the game, but it was like a good level of best deck in the game. Gaia was just busted. Gaia stuck around for way too long. I also think that for the meta we were in with like no good traps, I think the Dark Galaxy deck as was just toxic, and I hated it. But again, in a pre-trap card world, also the Light Galaxy deck was kind of busted, so Fish Fusion coming soon, trust. If only, if only. All right. We are going to take this time now just to check out a couple of little bits about some of the mobile games. So we got 3 things to look at. We have 2 Digimon mobile games, one of which is the card game. That's what we're going to look at first. Then we're going to go look at Pokemon Champions, because I did want to look at that quickly. So we're going to look at these quick. So this is info about Digimon Elysian, which is the Digimon trading card game coming to mobile soon. Eugene next character unlock? Could be. Although he doesn't use fish. Right, I do want to see this. I haven't actually seen this yet. I've heard they've updated the UI, but I haven't actually seen this video. But anytime there's a new digital card game, I'm always going to be interested. I'm a big card game guy. I've never played the Digimon card game. Never played it. But I would like to. I mean, the UI looks okay. Does anyone think the UI looks like really bad? I've heard a lot of people say they don't like the UI in this game. Elysian, oh my god. It's Master Duel. So my biggest complaint of this is that it doesn't have a PC client. I want to play this on PC, but I have to play this on phone, which means I have to emulate it. But yeah, this is very Master Duel-like, right? Especially that ending screen there. So this is still part of Elysian, by the way. Because Elysian is also going to have like a weird, like, visual novel aspect where you have like anime characters and they like talk and stuff as like the campaign. Although I can't read any of this because they haven't put the subtitles on. Well, that doesn't help. So why don't we have this in Duel Links, guys? I played the game on PC, what do you mean? I played the beta on PC. I thought they've specifically come out and said that they're not doing a PC client. People keep telling me there's no PC client, Bismarck. Are people just lying to me? Is that what you're saying? Because I want to play this on PC. Into the Vrains. Exactly. We've almost finished Vrains, by the way, and I watched along. And he became a trading card. Oh my god. It looks not stylish, but functional. Yeah, I think that's fair. They did delay it as well. Do the cards not have abilities? I think they do, but you have to hover over them to see them. What was your thoughts on the only skill leak in Rush? I thought it looks a little bit underwhelming, but I am hopeful. Is this like the tutorial? Here we go again. Mission complete. And then you go into visual novel mode. I don't know what those two are meant to be. I don't know if the rest of this is worth watching. I think that's probably enough for that. So if this is actually, as Bismuth says, if this is available on PC, I'm playing this on PC. Because everything I've seen has said this is only for yeah, so platforms mobile. See, everything they tell me tells me it's only on mobile, which is why I'm like, mobile only. But if it's not on mobile only, excellent, fantastic. iOS, Android. See, so it even says to do in the beta, it's like you got to be on iOS or Android. I just finished Go Rush last night after procrastinating for months. I mean, you got to the end. It's Duel Links. It basically is Duel Links. Revealed like months ago. Yukinamon. Yeah, you got to remember, I'm a very casual Digimon fan. I was a Digimon fan when I was a kid. Then I got back into Digimon as an adult. And I'm still, like, I play some of the RPGs. I think the card game looks cool. And I've started watching the anime, right? I'm watching Beat Break. But, like, I would not consider myself, like, all in as back in as, like, a massive Digimon fan. But I'm curious to see where the card game goes. And I'm going to give it a go. Now, we're also going to check out this. This is just a minute-long trailer. So this is their other Digimon mobile game that they're bringing out, which also has me intrigued. Again, a bit Digimon Mania, but this was Digimon Con, right? But this seems to be the year of Digimon. I remember playing the game on PC. Am I crazy or what? Bismuth forgot to use an emulator. I mean, that's how I played. Well, we'll get rid of that. That's how I played Vanguard Zero. I played all that in emulator. So, as far as I can tell, this is a VPET app where it looks like it's 3-on-3. So, like, you'll level up your Digimon. Like, you'll, like, train them. You have to, like, I assume clean up after them and feed them and do all the VPET stuff. And then you go into, like, 3v3 battles, I assume, based on this, right? And then you use the cards as, like, power-ups, like in Tamers. If anyone's watched Tamers, you know, like, they do the whole, like, swipe my card through the Digivice to give my Digimon power-ups. And I assume this is how this functions in this game. But again, this is all we have to go on. There's no more information. It's just this. So, again, I am cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping this ends up being fun. We will see if it actually does. But these look like your starters. So, out of these, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm a Guilmon boy. I'm going for Guilmon. Guilmon is the boy. Guilmon is always going to be best boy. So that is just happening. There is nothing else. No more argument to be had. He's all in, chat. Can I level up the woman? Probably. Probably. Hardcore Digimon player here, but got to go. No, Hunter. I'm starting to learn Digimon and Gundam TCG. Gundam TCG is something that hasn't ever really interested me, but like... Oh my... Who could these guys be? Whoa, create these two secret new Digimon? That's insane. They could be anything. You've used up all your energy. Would you like to buy more? It probably will be that. I mean, it's a mobile gacha game, right? It's going to have some shitty microtransaction that was going to be annoying. But I'm going to give this a go, right? In the same way I gave, Shadowverse a go. In the same way I'm going to give other interesting mobile games a go. We're going to see how this goes. I don't want to get my hopes too high, but I want to believe, right? I want to believe. Mobile. Yes, this is a mobile game. This is a mobile game. All new mobile games coming soon. All right. And now we're going to watch this Pokemon Champions video that Quick's linked us. So we're going to see what this is. Because again, we were talking about Pokemon Champions last week. And this apparently is giving us more information.
Pokemon battles for everyone.
Okay, I mean, so far we've seen what we've already know, which is Pokemon Champions is a battle simulator.
This game is
Sword
all
Dance.
about battles. Compete online against players from across the world with the Pokemon you've recruited.
I'm curious how this is going to work if you don't transfer to it, if you just play it as is. Because recruiting is what I want to do. I want to do the recruiting.
To the Pokemon home app. Transfer your Pokemon from games in the Pokemon
Obviously Gallantmon.
OCG
Gallantmon is
series.
one of my favorite Pokemon. Favorite Digimon. I love Gallantmon.
Pokemon Go app to Pokemon Home. Then link the app to this game.
There's a Pokemon Champions trailer. Yes, this came out 1 hour ago.
The
Or maybe
second
2 by
way
now.
is via Recruit. Choose one Pokemon to recruit once per day from a random selection of Pokemon that appear in the game.
So you have to only get one a day unless you use your gacha
Recruited
tickets.
Pokemon can only be used in Pokemon Champions for a certain amount of time.
I don't like that. I want to keep my Pokemon.
After you've gathered your Pokemon, choose 6 of them and form your team.
Because I wanted to try and play this game entirely
Before battle, you'll be
with
able
just
to
the
see
app.
your
I don't want to have
opponent's
to
team
use
and vice
outside
versa,
Pokemon game
and
into home or whatever.
choose the Pokemon you want to use for the impending match.
But maybe that's not going to be
Consider
possible.
which
I'll have to see.
Pokemon your opponent will use. Then
But this
select
is
your
just
own Pokemon
this is
and
just
start the
Pokemon
battle.
doubles like VGC. That's all this is. You get to look at your opponent's entire team, exactly the same. You choose 4.
Players alternate turns with moves. Win by reducing the HP of all your opponent's Pokemon to 0.
Recruit? What, it's just like the old Pokemon Stadium where it has built-in Pokemon, but they're all bad. I mean, it could be. It absolutely could be. I don't think it is, but it could be.
Mega Evolution to power up your Pokemon. The decisions you make could influence the tide of battle. With Mega Evolution, certain Pokemon will
We've got
gain
new
abilities
abilities
brand new to the
for 2
series.
of those Pokemon. So that means they could change the abilities of anything they want in this game.
There are also different battle formats. Use one Pokemon at a time. in
You can
single
use
battles,
singles. Okay.
or have Pokemon fight 2-on-2
Having
in
different
double
formats
battles.
is a big draw. That is going to make a lot of people very happy. Because singles is a lot more popular in the emulation
There are 3
scene.
different online battle
But obviously
modes.
competitive is always doubles.
In ranked battles, test your skills against evenly matched trainers. aim for the highest rank.
Great ball
In
tier.
casual battles, wins and losses aren't recorded, so you can enjoy matches however you'd like. And in private battles, create a room and battle against anyone with the room ID.
Right, room IDs, that's huge. We were talking about this last week as well.
Online competitions.
Having rooms is so
Battle with
big.
Preset rules that change every season. Engage in battles to earn victory points or VP. Here's how to use VP. You can swap the moves a Pokemon can learn,
Do we have access to just every move it can learn?
change its nature,
That costs 250 VP to change
modify
just a
its
move.
abilities,
500 to change its nature.
and more.
500 to change its
The stat
ability.
points of a
So that's already
Pokemon can also be
1,250. How much
For
is this?
example, you could increase attack and speed to boost offense.
160. So it costs different amounts. Let me go back to that quick. It costs different amounts depending on how much you're changing them by. That's kind of wild. So it's going to come down to how easy is it to get VP.
and defense to withstand attacks.
If VP is like remotely difficult to get, this is going to feel awful. But if you get it like really,
Pokemon
really
can be
easily,
trained to your
then it's
liking,
fine, right?
So try out different ways to battle. You can only
Room
recruit
ID,
once
champions better
per
than
day,
Pocket. There we go.
but by using
Can I
VP,
100% the game?
You can recruit multiple
I mean, maybe.
times. Keep in mind that recruited Pokemon are only available for 1 week. But with VP, any recruited Pokemon will
There
be
we go.
permanently added.
2,500 VP. You can keep a Pokemon.
In the shop, spend VP to purchase held items or Mega Stones for your Pokemon.
So it costs 2,000 VP for a Mega Stone. I assume that
You
you'll
can
keep
also
forever.
get clothing,
But 2,500 to keep a
looks for
Pokemon
your
forever.
trainer, different Pokeball throwing styles.
Right, I will not use any of that stuff because I need to just save my VP to just keep getting Pokemon by the sounds of it.
A world of fierce battles with your Pokemon awaits. Pokemon
April 8th.
Champions.
That's so soon, isn't it?
Available April 8th. on
That's like,
Nintendo
that's
Switch
2 weeks
system.
away? So this is going to be only on the Switch at the start as well. Only on the Switch at the start. Pokemon Champions game, free to start, as well as a set of useful in-game items, increased box space. Okay, so you can buy the starter pack, which gets you this stuff. So increased box space, play the battle, trainer battle song from Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, whatever. 30 teammate tickets, 50 training tickets. They haven't said how much this is, right? I don't see a price anywhere. I mean, let's catch up with chat first. They have a premium sub and a multi-tier battle pass plus a real money currency. And to have more than 15 Pokemon in the game, you have to... Is it 15 is the cap? I mean, 15 is like... 15 is fine if you're playing very casually, right? You just pick... You keep going through, you grab the Pokemon as they come. You'll get, like... Realistically, you only need 6 good ones. And then you'll be fine. But, like, if you want to play, like, multiple formats, if you want to... It'd be like in Yu-Gi-Oh! In Duel Links, right? A lot of people will just get one deck, and they'll just stick with that one deck forever. Regardless of how bad it becomes. And then maybe they'll update their whole deck later on. So I don't think it's awful if you're, like, a casual player. If, though, you are a actual, like, I'm going to go hard at this, I'm going to build every team, I'm going to play this competitively. No, 15 is nowhere near remotely enough. That is tiny. That is teeny tiny. That is awful. Also, actually get Mega Stones and Pokemon. Now I have to open Pocket and Champions once a day to collect rewards. Slavery time. Exactly. And Duel Links. It's wild. Also, you can get those changes to Pokemon more often by paying. I mean, that makes sense, right? That's going to happen. If it's too high and people complain, I hope they lower the VP costs. A free content, infinite VP farm. So that's how they'll keep you from just using your own Pokemon from home. You still have to buy them. Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm not really sure, because I think the logic is they don't want people to just play Champions. They want people to buy a Switch. They want people to buy the games, like the like Scarlet and Violet or whatever the next like Gen 10. They want people to buy Wind and Waves. They want people to buy Home, right? They want people to buy all these external systems. And if you do all that, maybe you have to spend less money to actually play Champions competitively. But if you're just playing Champions, they're like, no, we're going to get all that money out of you if you want to play us competitively. That's how I see it anyway. This looks like hell for free-to-play, just playing this game experience. Again, until I get my hands on it, I won't actually know, but I'm going to give it a bash at the very least. Same way I'm going to give the Digimon games a bash, right? We only know the price in yen. 30, I think, is the starting number, though. I mean, that means nothing to me. Can we abolish the Battle Pass system, I beg? No, it keeps working. A Battle Pass is 1,400 yen. The start pack is 980 yen, and membership is 700 yen a month, or 7,000 for a year. It's just, how do you make your main competitive simulator a pay-to-win game? It feels like a bad joke. I mean, depending on who you ask, people say Duel Links is very pay-to-win. Now, depending on who you ask, people say Master Duel's kind of pay-to-win. Although I think there are caveats to all of these arguments, right? For example, if you're keeping up with Duel Links, it's not as pay-to-win. If you're playing Rush, obviously it's not pay-to-win at all. If you're playing Master Duel and you are constantly buying everything new that comes out, it is very quote-unquote pay-to-win. But it is very free-to-play friendly to new players that jump in and you get a shit ton of gems right at the start. So, like, it's tricky. But the other thing is to take note of is, this is supposed to be a replacement for, what is it? What's the Pokemon online simulator called? I forget what it's called. But that. And I think a lot of people could just play that and get a similar experience, except this is, like, official. And this is going to be what, like, World Championships is going to be held on, right? Showdown. Yeah, thank you, Grand. Exactly. So, like, this is... If you're already playing Showdown and you're happy on Showdown, we'd probably just stick with Showdown. But, like, if you want to play competitively, if you want to play something official, you don't like using, like, third-party software, then this is going to be the alternative, right? How do you make it appear to a game? Feels like a joke. Like, everyone playing any tournament competitive will have to pay for this game. Before, you just had to play the latest mainline Pokemon game. Yes, I also don't think it's going to be too bad. I think if you have the mainline Pokemon games, and you're just playing this free-to-play, you'll be fine. You'll have everything you need. I think this is going to suck only if you just want to play just this. I think if you're coming into this without a Switch, and for example, you wait for this to come to mobile, which should be coming to mobile like a month or two after it comes out, I think it's going to suck for you more than anything. Quick, subscribed with Prime. Thank you. Quick's always a pleasure. I mean, personally pay £120 every new gen plus £6 for DLC.
Subscribe with Prime. Pokemon.
DLC to stay competitive in Pokemon. But aren't they using this to replace the VGU at Worlds where Master Duel doesn't replace the physical card game? Yes. The difference there is it now means they can take a few creative liberties in their main series games. Because the difference is that this isn't like Pokemon TCG Live or whatever it is, taking away from Pokemon TCG. This is more along the lines of, alright, our main competitive game is glued onto an RPG. And we're having a lot of restraints put on this RPG because we have to fulfill all these competitive quotas, right? So in my mind, by separating them, you now get to say, this can go hardcore competitive. This can now do it at once and be a bit more creative. So it'll be interesting to see the direction they actually do take with it. But I do get your concern. I do understand what you mean by that. We finally have the National Dex back? I mean, we might. I don't know. But that is pretty much everything we want to cover today, I think. I think that's everything we want to cover. We talked about, what? We talked about so much. We talked about leaks. We talked about Banlist. We talked about a bunch of Digimon games and Pokemon games. This went on far longer than I was expecting it to. This was actually kind of a crazy stream. But we got through it all. We made it. I was looking to see if there's anyone to raid. There's anyone I know raiding. Is streaming. So we might actually just not raid out to anyone, you know? We might just not. Were there rush leaks? Yes, Murata, there was. There was a whole one skill. This is it. This is the rush leak. It is a pyro skill leak. My completionist mindset will attempt to collect everything. And that's good. Did we not have any ads? Did I like leave my ads off all day? I mean, if we did, it's whatever. But no, ads are on. I just not noticed them. Ads apparently have been coming up without telling me they've been coming up. So that's fine. Doesn't really make a difference either way. But that is going to be, I think, the end of the stream. We have already run over 20 minutes. Pyro build box coming. Got it. Exactly. Murata's immediately knows what's coming. Mega Meganium moves acts as if under sunny day. Mega Ember, Mold Breaker, ignore opponent's effects. Mega Feraligator, Dragon's Eyes converts normal type moves to dragon type moves and boost damage by 1.2. I mean, that one, the last one could be pretty good. Somewhat confirmed both Ember fusions, but what would the last 3 cards be? I mean, it could be anything. It could be more execute-y stuff. They could give us, like, another Gradius card. They can do whatever they want, right? It's really hard to guess. Are you going to post a Rush ban list prediction video or just the reaction to the actual list? If the list comes out tonight or, like, tomorrow morning, because it usually either comes out at, like, 2 a.m. or at, like, 8 a.m. So if it comes out, I will just do that. I will just do the reaction. If it comes out later, as in if the ban list isn't tomorrow, then I will go ahead and do a prediction video. There's no point in doing it the same day it comes out, and I'm not going to do it today, so. But yeah, that is going to be it. That is going to be it for today. We've had a good one. We will be back again tomorrow for the watch along. So if anyone wants to watch, I think we have 2 watch alongs left. So we have tomorrow, and I think it's next Wednesday, and that is us done with Vrains. We will have finished Vrains. We will have completed Vrains. Other than that, we'll be back on Thursday to actually play the video game. I know it's going to be exciting. They did ban list on Thursdays very consistently. I wouldn't expect one tomorrow. Well, if that's the case, then obviously we will wait for that. So that is the plan. But thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.